Yes, guys, welcome back. It's another Liverpool show. It's another Liverpool match reaction to the. I don't know what to say. But this is your match reaction, guys, for Liverpool 1, Lyon 3. Guys, big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Back with Liverpool content again. Back with another Liverpool match reaction. Back with another Liverpool loss. Yeah, it just seems that's the way it's going at the moment. That's the way of the world. Liverpool play a game, Liverpool lose a game, Liverpool look crap yet again. Issues. There is major issues in this football club. People now will tell me don't get too worried about it. It's only a friendly. It's only a friendly. Man. Yes, it's only a friendly. But I said when I did my pre-season friendly watch-alongs, when I was doing my pre-season friendly watch-alongs, I remember doing them games and then saying to everybody, why is he playing all the kids? Why is he not playing the first team? And why do we look so bad? Everyone told me it's pre-season, Jamie. Don't worry about it. When it comes to the real thing, we'll be back. Don't worry. It's just pre-season. Results don't matter. What happened? We finished pre-season and we drew our opening game of Fulham. We drew our second game of Crystal Palace. We've lost 4 games in the Premier League and it's not Christmas just yet. Same old Liverpool, man. Same old Liverpool. Pre-season results do matter. Pre-season results definitely matter. This was poor. This was so poor, guys. I know we got players injured. I get that. I know we got players injured. It's not a lot of players, by the way. There's hardly anyone injured. Yes, and I know some people are still at the World Cup and are not back yet. So, there's no Henderson at the moment. There's no Trent, obviously. There's no Alisson. There's no Fabinho. And there's no Ibu. Yes, granted. But we've got a big team, We're meant to have a big squad. Liverpool are meant to have a big squad and a big team. It is a little worrying. Arsenal beat Lyon in this Dubai Cup with ease. And you can say their best forwards all at the World Cup. Saka, Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus is injured for 3 months. Arsenal put them to the sword with ease. What is going on with our football club? I need help on this, guys. I really do need help on this because, as you know, I'm quite a positive person. Yeah, I'm a quite a positive person in general. I'm quite a positive Liverpool fan as well. So I try and stick up for the cause, but it's becoming a little worrying. It's becoming a little worrying. Yeah, I mean, we lost twice in one game. We lost twice. We lost twice in one game. Now everyone's going, Jay. I bet people will be watching this, being saying, "Oh God, Jamie, it's a friendly game. It's a mid-season friendly game. Don't worry about it. Don't take too much into it." They told me exactly the same thing in pre-season when we lost 4-0 to Man United or whatever it was. Everyone went, Jay, it's pre-season. We're beaten when it matters in the Premier League. We lost that game to Man United in the Premier League, by the way. It's just abysmal. It's abysmal. Baz, I just ate my wife's ass for dinner. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, as long as you got your protein, I suppose, Baz. As long as you got your protein. But, Matt, it's just taking me right off track there, Baz. But look, this Liverpool team, I don't know what I think anymore. I don't know what to make of this Liverpool side anymore. I mean, it's not even we started with a bad side, we didn't even start with that really much of a bad side. Now I'm sitting here thinking, have we overrated our squad? At Liverpool Football Club, have we actually overrated our squad as well? That's another thing, you know. I mean, let me get the team up. Let me get the team up for everyone. So this is the team that started. Let me get this up, and you can all see the team that actually, actually started this game. So there we go. There's the team that actually started this game. It ain't the worst team in the world, you know. Robbo, Gomez, Matip and Milner, Kelleher in goal, Thiago, Stefan Bakitic, Harvey Elliott, Carvalho, Bobby, Mo. Yeah, there's a team that started. Not the worst team in the world. Obviously, Lacazette and Dembele started for Lyon. You know, mostly, I mean, Lyon were quite strong in their team because they've got a lot of players available. But, obviously, Liverpool had a bench then of Frundorf. I don't know how he's making a bench. I don't know why he's there. The Ox, Bobby Clark, Calvin Ramsey, Costas, Nat Phillips, Adrian, Leighton Stewart. I mean, it's Ben Doak. This is just shocking. Naby Keita. I mean, obviously, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, and Arthur. All injured. It's just, I don't know what to say, guys. There's the stats of the game as well. Lyon had mostly all the ball possession as well. I mean, our form going into the end of the season, our form going into it weren't too bad either. Lost to Leeds, but beat Napoli, beat Spurs, beat Cup Derby, and beat Southampton. So the form weren't too bad. But look, Arsenal put 3 past Lyon. Arsenal put 3 past Lyon. Gabriel, Nketiah, and Vieira. They literally put 3 past them. You know what I'm saying? And what was Arsenal's team that day? Look, that's Arsenal's 11. That's Arsenal's 11. Tierney, Gabriel, Holding, Suarez, El Neni, Lokonga, Vieira, Osgard, Nelson, and Eddie Nketiah. And it ain't much difference in Lyon's team either. Not a lot of difference in Lyon's team. Mostly almost the same. And Arsenal put 3 past them. I mean, it's just... I've had enough. Yeah, I'll put a link in the chat, guys. Anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome. Link in the chat, guys. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome, guys. You're more than welcome. I took myself out the stream. I was that pissed off of it. I took myself out the stream. I took myself out the stream. I was so pissed off of it. Brings a beer in. You right, my man?
Yo, I'm not good, bro. We're watching you in a different stream backstage, right?
Yeah.
Me and a few other guys were concerned, bro. The way you came into the stream, we're like, wow, man, somebody died, bro.
my look, big up ends as well.
Yo, big up, man.
Look, I did the pre-season watch-alongs, yeah, and in the pre-season watch-alongs, I said they were terrible, and I said to everyone, I'm worried because these performances are shocking, and everyone told me, Jay, it's just pre-season. Don't worry. When the real season starts, you'll see the real Liverpool and all that. And we're 6th, and I was right. I had a point, and
Jamie, look, I know the being right thing because I'm there with you. Remember, I brought out a lot of issues, and I'm not happy about them coming true or being true or being right. But here's a positive about this game. It's not a lot, so let's just go through them.
Get some in there.
40 seconds in, we scored first. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, that is true.
There's a lot of players at Liverpool. Didn't know that. I thought we only had the 11. So it's good to see that there's a lot of players in Liverpool shirt. Um, Ox and Naby are fit. Positive. Doesn't really mean much, but positive. Um, I think I ran out right there, man.
Let me help you out. Let me
That was
let me help you out, Zabir. Let me help you out. Shit, bro.
that was it.
You had me there naming them off. I'm like, yeah, go on, Zabir, yeah. And then you paused, bro. I was like, shit, bro. All right, let me come in. Um, touch on what Zabiri said. Look, we scored first. It was a well worked goal. But what I really liked was our press was back. And I was talking because me, Zabiri, and John was watching the game. Just in the back office watching the game, and I was like, I just want to see, can we last? How long can this press last and the intensity last for? And what I saw was it was sustainable for a longer period of time than what we're normally used to. Look, we got a few players that's not in the team. I know we're going to always do that comparison thing, but sometimes we can't just keep looking at other teams. We've got to look at our team. And yes, you're right. Things are not right in terms of the team yet, but we're missing some top players. You know what I mean? There's some top players missing from the team. Like we're starting the team with who was up front, Bobby, Salah, and Carvalho. They did what they needed to do until they needed to come off. The midfield was okay. But obviously once you change and put youngsters in the midfield course, and they left their experienced midfielders on, it's always going to be boys against men. So we can't really. I don't want to take nothing away from the game, and I don't want to make it seem like we're making excuses, but. Bro, we had youngsters against men in the midfield. They were just carving us open. These boys are not ready yet.
So did Arsenal.
They're not ready yet.
This is my thing.
But Jamie, they had midfielders that could play though. They play in the Prem. Our midfielders that we put in are not Premier League midfielders. They were like 21s, 18.
So this is my exact same problem with the pre-season friendly. Yeah. So when we did pre-season, right? I had the exact same issue, right? We played all these youngsters in pre-season, right? Actually, more youngsters got more minutes than the first teamers in pre-season. And I said in pre-season, unless these players in pre-season are all going to be in the squad for the first game of the Premier League season against Fulham, what is the point of them playing? All right, I've always said this about friendlies under Liverpool for years now, so that's nothing new on my bit. But again. At the beginning of the video, I did say like we obviously got players out, so I did mention that like we've got 7 players, like Ibu, Endo, Trent, Alisson and Fabinho are still like coming home from the World Cup, and you've got Darwin Núñez who, for some reason, having a week break. I'm just hoping like Klopp's going to give them all a break when they come back. The ones that have been at the World Cup, we can't afford to give them a break. I don't want a week's holiday. Fuck them. Come back and you earn your money, man. I don't want this week holiday bullshit. Darwin Núñez had a week holiday. He had a week holiday at the World Cup, man. Yeah, I don't want. They don't need a week off. Come back and do your work, because this World Cup. This World Cup is in the middle of a season. Yes, they've not played for their club side, but if you think about it, the amount of football they've played is the same amount of football they would have played if they were playing for their club teams right now in the middle of a season. So I don't understand why they need a week off.
Jamie, I got a question on that week off thing. We're not in a good moment, and you're right. And I do agree. We can't really afford the week off.
No.
But what if we don't give them the week off and it'll only get worse from here? Because it can actually get worse from here. So should we just say, well, you know what? It's already as bad as it is. Let's just let them rest and come back 100%, then throw them in at 75%. And then it hurts us even more towards the back end of the season.
I'm not sure. I think resting players when they're in their full fitness actually makes them injured more.
So, Jim, you're right, because what's happening is these guys, people are going on like they've been away for ages playing like 10, 15 games. They've only played 4 games. Some of them only 5. Like Trent don't need a holiday. Hendo only played 2, maybe 3 games. Flacco ain't played no games. I think he only played maybe 1. Alisson's a goalkeeper, bro, so he don't need a holiday. So these guys need to just come back. Even Darwin's probably the only one, because he was running for years for these men. He was just running up and down that left and right side. So he's probably the only one that probably needs a holiday. The rest of them don't need a holiday, man. They just need to get back in the team.
He can't even get that. That's the thing. I don't think he can get that break. Not Darwin, because of obviously the injuries that we've got as well. He needs to start. He needs to start as soon as he touched down and we've got our next game. He needs to start, in competition, because you ain't got Jota. You've just lost Diaz. You're gonna have Carvalho on the left, or John's friend Curtis Jones. We need to do it.
Yeah, I thought of two more positives.
Over it.
But Jetic or whatever his name is,
Yeah,
he was sticking in some tackles, So, and I like that about him. I like that the position he's in, Fab for some reason ain't sticking in the tackles like he once was. So it's good to see that a young guy can do that. I hope we're not relying on him to stick these tackle in against Real Madrid, but
Stefan he's never touching pitch. He ain't gonna be.
That's the problem. That's the problem. He's an excellent player, but you're not gonna get to see him. Klopp ain't like that.
And then the Doak kid, I see some good moments as well. So the big concern for me now, even with the market around the corner, we have some guys there that we'd all agree have something going for us. But how do we bolster the squad from here? Because clearly there's players in the squad. So if we just have a squad where 18 men in the squad is just average, then that might be the actual issue of the club. We have way too many average men.
We have 8 good players in a squad of 25. I think it's actually being shown now. Like I said at the beginning of this video, don't want to take too much off it, because obviously Alisson's away, Ibu's away, Darwin's away. All these players are away that would probably have been playing some part in these games if they're available. So I will put that into account. But I have been watching this season like we all have when they're all available. I have been watching pre-season when they're all available. And when we need to make changes, especially in these pre-season games, and you see the players that are coming on, our academy is shit. Our academy is dead. I'm seeing Frundorf come on, or whatever his name is. He looks older than Fabinho. And he's 19. It's terrible. What is that? And he can't move. I'm seeing these kids come on. So in the second half, it is like En said, it is like children against men. And, but they're not good. If there were good youngsters coming on with a bit of something about them, and doing bits, I'd be like, yeah, that's all right, the kids. But, I can see something there. I see no potential in any youth player in Liverpool Football Club, apart from the ones we bought. So, like Ben Doak, who's a youth player we bought and has been basically coached since he was a baby in another youth setup, looks okay. Don't think he's ever going to start for Liverpool Football Club, but he looks okay. The best one we've had in the last 10 years is Trent. Harvey Elliott, who's 19, he came from another youth academy. Carvalho, who's 19, came from another youth academy. Raheem Sterling, when we had him, came from QPR. Ryan Brewster, when we had him, came from Chelsea. We took very good youth players, got them into our academy, just polished them up a little bit, put a bit of Liverpool sprinkle on top of them, and made something of them. But in theory, if you look at our academy, you got Clark, Frundorf, there's players there that Klopp's probably looking at thinking, you guys are shocking. Bobby Clark, never going to make it. Leighton Stewart, never going to make it. Ben Doak, never going to make it. Dominic Coolness, never going to make it. Naby Keita should never make it in life. Luke Chambers, never make it. Jack Kane, never make it. Gerald Quinash, never make it. Can we stop pretending we have a good youth team and looking at the youth dead, man.
Yeah, the evidence is there. I see where you're going off as you're reeling off the names. And when I saw we got Carvalho in and re-signed Milner, I said it, hope is gone, because we're talking about the youth team and all this good things, bro. it's not good enough. I don't know if that's why they did the AXA thing, so they can train across from the first team to help lift the
That's meant to be
productivity
the
of the youth
point.
team.
So they
I think
entwine.
that failed.
Yeah.
And who's the reason why that failed? Is it down to recruitment? Not recruitment for the first team, but just like to identify talent at a younger age.
Mm.
So I think the problems at the club, bro, it's bigger than ownership. It's a very massive problem, and I think these problems are starting to get highlighted. And I don't think two windows can fix these problems,
No, I mean,
because
the transfer window is only going to be looked at the first team. But for me, I think we need to do something about our academy. Our academy, I don't think, is good enough for a team of Liverpool Football Club stature. Now, us growing up as Liverpool fans saw great players coming through that academy, yeah, great players, and make it in the first team. Look, and Trent got his chance and made it, yeah. But apart from him recently, I just can't see like Ant's saying it's a bit unfair going hard on the academy players, and I get that. But we live in a time in this sport where I think we do have to be a bit hard sometimes because there's no time. This is the results business in football now is so big. There's no time now to just, you know, you look at Man City. Yeah, I've, I've never really heard of Man City youth players. When they got taken over, they made sure they got their academy. Was one of the first things they tried to sort out. They tried to sort out their academy, and you can see some of the players coming through in that academy now. Are Manchester born as well. From the area. And obviously for northern clubs in the UK, it's going to be harder to get your academy up and running because the hotbed of football is usually down south. It's just where there's more population of people. So, London, you've got a population of 9 million people in the city. You go over a more populated, but kids. That's why Chelsea's youth team is so good, They've just got that wide range. And Liverpool, maybe their scouting needs are proving that. Look, Liverpool had one of the best youth team setups in the 90s, and it was headed by a former Liverpool player who took control of that youth team, had it all locked and sewn. He was in charge of it. No one told him what to do. He was the boss down there, and he brought through your Carragher's, your Michael Owens, your Robbie Fowlers, your Steve McManamans, all these sort of players. And, I think it's Steve Highway, wasn't it? It was
Highway, yeah.
Yeah, it was in charge of the youth system. He was the boss. And, they would meet Steve Highway. They wouldn't go and meet the manager. It was Steve Highway was in charge. He was in charge. He would go and meet these kids. He would go and meet the families. He'd set it all up. The club would look after the family because sometimes you're getting kids from down south as well. It's not always in the local area and stuff like that. So you're asking like 12-year-old kids to move all their family 200 miles up the up the country. You got to reroute everything. You got to make sure you look after them. Steve Highway did that. He was tremendous at it. Absolutely tremendous at it. We've had no one like that since he left. I think because we let him go. I believe we let him go and rehired him again for a little while, didn't we? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I think he just retired with age in the end. But that's someone we need. When Stevie was there as the under-18s coach, you need someone like that for me. That will know what it's like coming through at Liverpool Football Club. What you got to achieve coming through in Liverpool Football Club. And I look at some of the players and I just think Liverpool are a team that's always had good homegrown players come through from the youth team that come into the setup. Same with Man United. You look at Man United through generations. They've always had somebody come through their youth team that makes the first team. It's like a thing they do. They make sure they have that every generation. And I think Liverpool need it as well. And I don't see honestly don't see where the next the player from our youth teams go come in and establish himself in our first team, guys. That's my worry.
The old school Liverpool boot room, the heritage and what we stand for, that's gone now. There's a lot of these certain things that have gone. The boot room, for example, doesn't exist. Liverpool kept it in the family. Like what you said with the Steve Highways, these great players. Yeah, you see a lot of them still at Liverpool, but they're more ambassadors now as opposed to the runnings of the club. Like you point out, like Steve Highway literally looked after everything. Now it's Jurgen Klopp, and then he'll pass it on to those guys. Before, people like Klopp's wouldn't even get a touch in or look into these players. It's like, no, they're not ready. Leave us alone. When we're ready, yeah. Now it's just too much. It's just not. It's the club has grown with the times, and I appreciate that's got to happen. But there needs to be a balance where Liverpool get back to that traditional side of them, because that's the only way you're going to make players.
Sometime as well, though, maybe we have to not look at the players. Maybe we have to look at the ones coaching them. Because I know there's a few clubs in London. Obviously, I'm not going to say much names, but I know for a fact if within about 5 games, if the players ain't taken to the coaches, or there doesn't look like there's any improvement, they get rid of those coaches straight away. And that's from like age groups of 10 going upwards. For professional clubs, they just get rid of them. So we're seeing these guys come through. At some point, someone must be looking at the coaches like, we don't see any improvement from these boys. So why are you still at the club? Why are we paying you just to bring through random people? The other side of it as well, boys, we have to look at it's a profit game as well. So if families have the money to pay for their kid to kind of push them through the academy, they'll do that. So sometimes it might not be the quality of the player. Maybe it's just because that family has enough wealth to push their kids a bit more further in front. There's favoritism we know as well when it comes to the academy football. So it's who talks up the coach, who's always in the coach's ear. They're always trying to push their kid to the forefront. While we got other kids that we know are really good, but they're not going to get that opportunity or enough pitch time. So, and yes, the scouting thing. I think we need more scouts in London, man. There's so many kids that are a good age group from like 10 to about 15. That's really good. Not even at a club. They're just chilling, doing nothing. And I'm like, Ross, some of these kids can easily come in and show some of these 18-year-olds how to play football. I don't know. Maybe we just want to scout in Liverpool. Maybe we just want to scout in Liverpool and abroad. So I don't know, man.
Scouting's been poor over the last. No one can disagree. Pretty much, scouting's been really poor of recent times with Liverpool. I don't know. When we go and sign like the A-team players, we look through the stats. I know all that stuff is gone. The database side of things now, that's going to be going soon. But I don't know if that was the same thing when they were looking at players, for the youth team or the potentials, the ones for the future kind of thing. I don't know if that's all the same, but it's been poor and it just needs to be changed.
Now, so Levi, big up to your academy is quality. To be fair, they just don't get enough of a chance. Now, if they were quality, I'm sure under Jurgen Klopp, out of all the managers you could possibly have, Jurgen Klopp's the one who would give these kids a chance. But no, Trent got a chance as soon as Klein got injured, and he never lost his place. I'm sure. Look, Curtis Jones has played 80 games. I get what Edward was saying about if we look at around the Premier League, look at the youth seasons around the Premier League. Liverpool have had Curtis Jones and Trent come through into the first team. You look at other teams.
Nico Williams.
Yeah, and are they coming through? And I get what you're saying. And it ain't actually just about, because I'm not on about we should have a whole team that comes from an academy, by the way. I'm looking for one or two special talents in the academy that are going to come through and take the world by storm. And other academy players don't always make it. And that's the thing when, with academies, especially if that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of talent all around the country. You've got to look everywhere. And look, there's been excellent youth talents at Arsenal and Chelsea in the last few years that, for some reason, they didn't bring through. They've gone off and had successful careers in other places. Is it Musiala, the German guy? And wasn't he a Chelsea youth player?
Mm-hmm.
No, and Arsenal have had a few as well that have gone off and done great things in Europe, in top clubs. And, look, youth team, let's face it, a youth team is basically set up to find one or two superstars in the future that can come in and break into your first team. The rest of them are used as money cows. It's horrible to say, but it is.
It's facts.
That's what it's used for. And if you look at Chelsea down the years, they've done it better than anyone. I mean, when Bayern Munich wanted Cho from Chelsea, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I never even heard of him. And they were bidding 30 million for him. I was like, I've never heard of this guy. And he was a Chelsea youth player. Man City have just sold. Didn't Man City sell Man City sold a a youth player from their team to Southampton this summer for 15 million. They're just, that's what I want in our academy. Unfortunately, you're not ever going to get a full academy that just takes over your full team. I know everyone looks at United in 1992. That's what happened, but that's like a freak. I mean, Barcelona, obviously, your Xavis and your Estes and your Messi's all coming through the youth system over there and making it into the first team and stuff like that, and your Cesc Fabregases and all that sort of stuff coming through and taking half the team up. And in Holland with Amsterdam, Ajax, obviously you've got it and all that. And yeah, these are rare occasions, but I'm just looking at our youth players in these last pre-seasons, this pre-season in the summer, this mid-pre-season right now. I'm looking at our youth players and I'm really looking at it and thinking, who out of this bunch is going to be the next person who's going to break through into this first team with enough quality? And I just don't see anyone yet.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jamie. Because when I watch the preseason, I look for the unnamed players, I guess, the people I didn't even know was at the club. Because I'm looking at the lineup today and I'm like, bro, we have actually a bigger bench than even Lyon today. I'm like, I don't even know some of these guys. So when I see them come on the pitch, I'm not looking for them to take the game by storm, but show me something that I can say, yeah, okay, there's some progression going on in the U team. And you're right, man. I don't think we've produced any really barring Trent. I wouldn't even put Curtis up there because one of the biggest questions I've been asking in the past year is, what kind of improvement has he made? I haven't seen any improvement. So even when he got his new contract, I don't care about him getting the contract, but I'm just like, what is that about? Is it just about the paycheck? Because I haven't seen any improvement on Jones. I can't tell you how Jones have improved his game. I couldn't tell you how he's going to improve us going forward. I don't see it. So barring Trent, I don't see anybody else in the U team. I've seen some flashes, some glimpses here and there, but I'm just like, it doesn't translate to the first team. And when we did the AXA thing or whatever to get the U team closer, I was expecting to see some more improvement. I don't see it, man. I don't follow the youth team, so I don't know all of them. But if every year we're buying a youth youth guy from another team, that tells me ours is trash.
Right, this is probably the only player, Raging Pot's right, Stefan Bakitic. This is probably the player in the youth team, yeah, right, that you could see possibly coming through. I will say that. He's probably the only one I'm looking at the moment as the technical quality. My whole thing is, I just don't see him. Look, if Liverpool get taken over, right? If Liverpool do get taken over, and
this guy doesn't exist.
If new people come in and want to seriously invest, then we're at a place where we are at the moment as a club that we're going to buy players that he plays in that position of Stefan that are going to be so much better than him. So how does he then get into the team anytime? How long do you derail how long do you derail these players? They got to come to an age where they're like, we need to play more football against older people. That's why I'm like, thinking he's gone out on loan to Blackburn. That was a good choice.
Tyler Morton.
Because Tyler Morton's gone on loan to Blackburn because he's playing man's football. He might be too good to play under 23s football. That's what I think Jurgen Klopp said. He's too good to play under 23s football. We need to go and play against men in competitive leagues. And that's what he did with Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott was too good. Harvey Elliott playing for Liverpool was 17, man. He's 16. He's too good to play under 23 football. But he weren't just right enough yet. He was in that barrier of like not good enough to play Premier League football at the moment, but too good for under 23. So you got to send him out somewhere, play man's football. We used to do it all the time. Michael Owen and Steve McManaman and players like this, when they were youth players, they'd go and play in the reserves for a bit. But we got rid of the reserves thing now. They used to go and play in the reserves games with grown men, with Liverpool players that weren't making the first team and stuff like that, and playing with grown men at the age of 16, 17. I remember Jamie Redknapp used to talk about, and Steve McManaman and Jamie Redknapp used to talk about Michael Owen, watching him as a 16-year-old playing reserve games against grown men. And watching Stevie kicking people at 16 years of age, against grown men. Now, this day and age, all these kids play against kids. And if you're an exceptional kid, you're going to stand out better than the rest. But then you're playing against kids all the time. that don't really help your development too much. So I think it's not just the Liverpool problem with the academy. I think it might be a problem in English football general where they got rid of the reserve thing in football. And I think that might be a problem for everybody.
What's this guy thinking? You know, Stefan. Okay, knowing that he's trying, yeah, he knows he's catching people's eyes, yeah, and then they're looking at the guy from Morocco, possibly to sign him. This guy's even going to get thrown off even more, and it's annoying because the thing is, it's all about money, isn't it? Money is the rule of all evil for these youngsters. You know what I mean? All they're doing is literally getting themselves to a certain level. That their contracts are not being renewed, or they just get a little chance. They get sold off, like you said, you know, and then they're out of another club. These guys might be Liverpool fans. They want to play for Liverpool. They never get the chance because you're going to have either a proper quality or not mediocre, but a guy that's not so proper quality. And in this, Stefan ain't going to get a kick in. It's annoying. It's very frustrating because this guy, he's never going to see the light of day. He should be considered like, we need to give this guy an opportunity. Look at Robbie Fowler. He wasn't polished off typically. You know what I mean? He was good enough. You're old enough. You put him in. Yeah, if you're gonna sink, then fine. You know what I mean? How are we gonna know if this guy's gonna sink? He's just never gonna get the chance.
Do you know what it tells me? Klopp prefers Tyler Morton, and the reason I say that is because Tyler Morton went on loan to Blackburn, right? And I think it's sort of similar scenario with Harvey, who went on loan to Blackburn as well. I think Klopp really rates him, and we've got a thing with Blackburn at the moment. I think Klopp trusts him over there to help these youngsters out. So he's putting Tyler Morton over there, getting him a bit of experience playing against, you know, grown men every week. Because playing against grown men in a proper league that have been playing football for years against under 23s, it's a totally different world, man.
Can I ask you a quick question, Jamie?
Yeah.
How do I put this one? Do you actually rate Harvey Elliott and Carvalho in our first team? And I'll put Curtis Jones in there as well. And do you think, I'll add an extra bit to it. Do you think it's Klopp's fault why these guys are not progressing well? Because he's not actually playing them in their rightful positions. So we got three. Do you rate them? So Harvey, Curtis, and Carvalho as players. And do you think it's Klopp's fault why they're not improving because he's not playing them in their, I'll say, their stronger positions?
Stronger position, right. I rate Harvey the highest out of all three of them. I do rate Harvey out of all three of them because I've watched Harvey the most out of all three of them. So we've seen Curtis come through, obviously, and then now Carvalho was at Fulham. When I look at Harvey, I feel like everyone says he's a right winger. I actually think Klopp's improved Harvey. When I watch Harvey now, he does look like a central midfielder to me. He does look like one of them, he's just a central midfielder he can do a bit of everything, you know. He's not the master of one thing, but he's okay at everything, if that makes sense, you know. Mm-hmm. That's why I look at Harvey. He looks comfortable. When I see Harvey and Carvalho both playing on the pitch, although they're similar ages, Harvey looks the more mature footballer and sort of knows his position in the team, coming from a winger to a central midfielder. Now, with Carvalho, he looks like he can only really play in a sort of one area of the pitch. He doesn't look like it. I don't think Carvalho is as adaptable as Harvey is. I could play Harvey in a free in midfield, and he has played well. Let's give Harvey his credit. He's been good for us this season in that midfield area. But then I could probably play him a little bit further up, and he'd probably do a little bit of a job there as well. Where with Carvalho, we tried him in central midfield against Everton and got tore apart. And then we put him in a forward area, and he's still not looking comfortable at the moment. I think Carvalho is a massive confidence player, but I think if you play Carvalho in his right position, which is probably the number 10 position, more advanced, and you give him freedom and just go to him, look, you got the freedom here. Well, you show us what you can do on the ball. You're the key between the midfield and the forward line. You know, you're that key for us, yeah? You're the master lock, right? Use him there. The problem is Liverpool don't play that formation to play a Carvalho in that position. Then you got Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones has got ability and he's technically a nice-looking footballer on the ball. Again, it's been 3 or 4 years now with Curtis Jones. What's his best position? I still don't know. I'd probably say left wing. I would probably say on the
Left wing
left-hand
is his
side
best position.
as a left wing. But if he's going to be a left winger for Liverpool, he's got Darwin Núñez, Jota, and Diaz all there. Game over.
So then, are you agreeing with me? Then it's Klopp that's the issue at the moment. Then because we know that we've got a team with all these players that possibly are playing out of position, and he won't either change the formation to suit the team, or why not just get rid of the players if they're not going to improve us? Because I was saying the other day about Harvey, and we was having a conversation, and he was telling me about, oh yeah, he plays at a 7, he plays at a 6. But I'm like, okay, you're in midfield. Your job is, if you're not defending the goal in midfield, that means you're creating and scoring goals the other way. There's no point of you being in midfield and then you're getting a 6 or a 7 doing nothing. What's the point? Because it's not like you're back stopping goals. Like if you're the defensive midfielder and you're getting a 6 or a 7, but you broke up play and you've intercepted loads of passes and you protected the back line, 6 or 7 in my eyes is perfect. Or if you're getting a 7 or an 8, but you're creating goals, you're creating chances, you're getting on the end of goals, couple of assists a game, I can understand that. But how do you get a 7 every game by doing nothing at all that helps the team in either end?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a good point, man. I think the only one he has done it with, as I say, is Harvey. Because for me, Harvey does look good in midfield. You mean, I think we've got to be careful with them as well because of their ages. I mean, Harvey for 19, I think, is a good player for a 19-year-old, say. With Carvalho, I said it when we bought him. I don't know if it was a Klopp signing because you look at it, I know where you ends. I don't know where he plays. And if he does play in that number 10 formation where he plays just behind a striker, Jurgen Klopp don't play that formation. It's not his system. So you bought a player that don't fit your system, which is why you're not seeing the best of Carvalho when he plays.
So all we have to do is turn our attention back to last season when he played in the Championship, and in the system that he played in a 4-2-3-1, and he was a second striker, let's call him that. Sometimes popped up out on the right, but he had the freedom, and we saw him do this against grown men. And we know the Championship is a lot rougher than the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not be at the same speed, but we know that in terms of endurance you have to have. You're playing 48 games when it comes to the Championship. You're playing against guys that's going to kick the living hell out of you. He was doing that, and he was the best young player in the league that year. We put him in the team, and now we're putting him left wing. We sometimes tried him as a 6, not a 6 or an 8, double 8. I'm like, why not put him in the best position that suits the player with his natural ability? And then if he's not doing what he needs to do, then we can look at maybe putting him somewhere else. As a manager, even if you're saying it's not a Klopp signing, bro, like Klopp is the manager. So there's no way someone's signing a player and he's not giving a green light to it. And even if he's not giving a green light to it, don't play him then. And that will tell the people that's buying those players, like, that's not the guy I want.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You know what's crazy? Because I've been listening to you, and we're talking about some good play. Well, not good players, but some young players in their own right. But to sacrifice the greater good of the entire team for just 3 players we're talking about, I don't think none of them is worth that. I don't think none of them are of the quality where we can be like, you know what? We're just going to scrap the plan of the first 11 to make one of these men grow in the way they should grow. I don't put none of these men on the level of like the other guys in their age group that's balling out.
But in the way that it's going now, it's not doing anything. They're not playing well now. The first team.
But for us, the best out of that group, I would say, is Elliot. But it doesn't mean Elliot is of that level. It's just out of the 3, he's the highest level. But that level still isn't or shouldn't be good enough for us. And to then say, let's put him in the 10 so we can get the most out of him. Getting the most out of Elliot in the 10, what does that do for our first team in reality? Like, how does that really propel us forward? Because Elliot in the 10s against Real Madrid isn't what I really want to see and isn't going to be as effective.
But the problem is, Zabiri, if we don't change it, because at the moment, what we're doing is the same stupid stuff. We're just trialing the same thing that keeps, and we're not getting no result from it. So why not see? Because we're like, okay, if Arsenal thought the same way, we would never have seen Martinelli or Saka. Oh, they're not good enough to get in this team, so we're just not going to try anything. I know it was forced upon them, and they had to do it because they were starting a new project and these kind of players suited it. But we will never know. We can't definitively say that if we put Carvalho in the 10 for a run of games, put Elliot on that right wing because he's a natural winger, but so for some reason we're turning him into an 8 now. We can't say hand on heart that can't work because we've not seen it happen.
Can I just
We've
say
not
this,
seen it.
right? Can I just say this, Ensman? Sorry to cut into
Yeah, go on, bro.
I know this is not a cop out conversation here, yeah. But when you look at it, you can't be buying these players who excel in their positions as a youngster and then turn them into something else that they're not. The thing is, Harvey Elliott, you know, he's not a midfield player. He's an attacker. He needs to be playing as an attacker. Now, if Liverpool can't integrate these guys into those positions and train them into these positions to become elite, yeah, or good, you know, then what's the point? Because when Klopp talks about he gives youngsters chances, he does, but he does give them chances to get into the team, but he plays them out of position. You'll never see Carvalho become the player that he was at Fulham last year. Last year, he was a baller. Now he's playing on the left, yeah, and having to just jump into a team. It doesn't work that way. When I look at it, I look at even Trent. Trent, when he's come into Liverpool, yeah, all right, his crossing is has improved and stuff like that. But as a player, he's the same old player. Curtis Jones, look, whatever everyone's agenda's on him, he's a good player, but he's not a left winger, and he's going to be playing on the left wing, and then he's got to battle it out with Carvalho, Nunes now. And then obviously if Jota sometimes plays there, I know he's more of a striker nowadays. And then, Luis Diaz. These guys don't get the chance to excel in the positions that they were.
Great point, Baz. There's a comment. I just don't want to call you out, Capsal, but you're saying that we'll have slow wingers. You don't actually need speed to play in the wing. And this is the misconstruction. We got Salah playing out there with loads of speeds, but he ain't actually doing nothing for us out there. It's about what you can do when you get on the ball in right and tight areas. Salah can't dribble his man no more. So why do we keep because he's quick, we're going to just keep playing these diag balls and let him run onto it? Because it looks pretty and it looks good and it looks exciting, but there's no end product to it. Why do we keep doing that? Play someone that can actually take a man on 1v1 and actually think about creating an opportunity with a bit of skill and a bit of guile and a bit of agility. Instead of thinking about, because he's quick, he needs to play there. Come on, man. Football's it's not only about speed. Sometimes you have to think about the game in a different way. We're just trying to give you a different view on it.
I agree with that. But I think in the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play, the way Jurgen Klopp sets up his system and the way he wants to play, I think we have to have pace on the wide areas for the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play. But I do agree with you. You don't always need pace to be a very good winger. But I think in the way Klopp wants to play, he likes that counter pressing, counter attack, going at pace, don't he?
Harvey can press though. We've seen him. Have you seen the best game I've seen Harvey play was when he played on the right wing, and he actually scored in that game.
Yeah, Harvey. Well, that's his more.
This is it. So why turn him into a midfielder just for the sake of we don't have any midfielders at the moment?
I think it is because of a pace issue. I literally think it is because of a pace issue. I think if Harvey was lightning quick, Harvey would stay out wide. But because he's not lightning quick, I think that's why Klopp's trying to make him into a midfielder.
So, Jamie, where does he go then when we go and buy the midfielders that we want? I was having this conversation with Zabiri and Baz. I was like, where does he now go? Because apparently now we're saying that he has to play in the midfield or he's an 8 or whatever, and he's in the 3 in the midfield. If we buy Jude Bellingham, we go and buy Amrabat, and we go and buy, I don't know, Enzo Fernandez and whoever else we've been linked with. Explain to me where Harvey now goes, because that looks like to me he's now either on the bench or he's getting loaned or sold. Because if we get those guys in, I can't see him getting in there unless it's a cup game or an injury.
I think if Jurgen Klopp's still in charge, Harvey still plays. I think Klopp loves Harvey. You only got to see Klopp's reaction. I've never seen Klopp cry when a player got injured like he cried when Harvey got injured. The man teared up a little bit.
This is why
he loves Harvey. And I think if Klopp's at Liverpool, no matter who we buy in this midfield, I think Harvey still gets game time. Now, he won't get the game time, obviously, he's getting at the moment. You've got to make sure you don't burn youngsters out, obviously. Foden didn't play as much as I think Harvey is at 19 years of age. You got to take your time and bring these players in slowly. But if you've got to say we buy Amrabat in January, which I think we're going to do because he's only a 30 million transfer and he's only on 30 grand a week at Florentina. It's such an FSG deal. It's unreal. Yeah, I can see that being done, man. Wages, no problem. 30 mil, no problem. You know what I mean?
Double the wage.
I see that deal being done. The Enzo Fernandez thing, that's just not happening. Because and I see Jude definitely happening in the summer. So if you're getting Amrabat saying, right, in this January, Amrabat and Fabinho, you can either play them together and go super defensive in midfield. You can drop one and play the other, still leaving Harvey. Say in the summer, you got Amrabat and Bellingham in the summer. They're our two midfielders going into next season. Amrabat and Bellingham. Then you got Fabinho, Thiago, Hendo, and Harvey Elliott. I think that would be your main midfield core that Klopp will go with.
He's too sentimental. He's too sentimental, and this is why, again, I know this is sounding like a Klopp out agenda, and it's not. We're just talking about the youngsters. This is why we're not going to excel as a team. We're not ruthless. The manager's not ruthless enough. Sentimentals or not, this is a business now, whether we like it or not. Harvey Elliott is never going to be the player that he is going to be if that's the case, and he's not going to do anything for us. We might as well just buy the quality midfielders and just overlook him and say, good luck, man. Sometimes, like, even with your kids, if you see something like that, you're going to want what's best for them. So if he's looking at, he loves this guy, let him go. Sometimes the love is let him go, because you're not gonna get the best out of him. And then you're just going to have him as an Ox or as a Curtis Jones or something like that, like one of those could have beens, and no one knows where he plays, because one day he'll play in that position, then he'll play in that other position, and it's just going to be too still. He's going to stump his growth as a player. And we're talking about these guys potentially, when we sign them, to be the next best thing. He's never going to be the next best thing if how Klopp treats him. He needs to be playing in the position he is and believe in him, or just simply loan him out or sell him out. It's just one of those ones that you're going to lose. That's the same thing with Salah and them lot.
I just apparently I'm a sucker. Look, I've not been a sucker to the media. I'm a 41-year-old man who can have his own opinion on things. You know what I mean? I don't listen. If you watch my channel, I fucking hate the media. So don't worry about that. But I listen to Klopp. He's the manager. Unless you're telling me Klopp lies in every single interview he does just to protect FSG, then this man should be out of our club immediately. Do you know what I mean? Come on. I watched him actually tear up, and so did you guys, when Harvey Elliott got injured. Yeah? He teared up.
I get what this guy is saying, man.
And Harvey came back. By the way, when we had a full squad in midfield, when we did have a fully fit midfield, and Harvey came back from injury, what did Klopp do straight away?
Yeah, put him in
the team. Put him in the team. So
put him where, though?
No, he went in the midfield, bro. He did.
Yeah. He went straight back in the team.
He went straight in on a rotation basis. But I get what Jamie's saying.
But not on the right.
And I think he rates Harvey. And I think if we do get all these players in, what I think Klopp will actually feel is that it's going to actually help Harvey's game, getting all these midfielders in. Because I always said this about Foden at Man City. Pep Guardiola did the right thing when Foden was coming through, not loaning him out, because he ain't going to learn anywhere better than training with all the players he plays with at Man City. That's why Foden got better. And with Harvey, if you get all these players in that we're meant to get in, say we do have this scenario where you get an Amrabat in, we get a Bellingham in, and then we get, and he's training with these players, and your Salahs and the Thiagos of this world, and, Bobbies and Diaz's and Darwin Núñez and stuff like that. Where's he actually going to go on loan where he's going to get better game than training with the football club? So it actually, in the end, might help Harvey improve even more. But what I've seen so far is Curtis Jones is a scouser. When he's always fit, Klopp don't always play him. All right? He doesn't always play him. We had Shaqiri at Liverpool. When he was always fit, Klopp never really played him much. Right? And he's a far better footballer than Harvey Elliott, but he never played him much.
That's because he had his favourites, though, man. We know this.
That's what I'm saying. So he obviously really, really likes Harvey Elliott.
So you see with that though, Jamie, right? That's why we're falling behind, and that's why we got caught up by Arsenal and the rest so really quickly, because we keep doing this thing about we have got good players, and I'll say good players in a standard where all we have to do is send these guys out on loan. Let them go and play, because if you're not going to play them, you're not telling me you sitting here and training with the squad week in, week out is improving you as footballer. It doesn't. What improves you as a footballer is you going out and doing the job. You need to be going out and playing football. You can't be indoors training, because training sessions compared to a match scenario is completely different. You train to see what could happen in the game, but in the game you have to wing it sometimes. You have to make decisions on the fly. You got to improvise when you're on the pitch playing the football. And this is what happens with some of these players. They just think, because I'm at Liverpool, I just need to make sure I'm here. No, bro. Tell Klopp, like, listen, I want to play left wing. Are you going to play me left wing? No? All right, cool. Here what? Go and loan me out then. Let me go on loan out to Southampton. They want to play me out on the left wing. Let me go and learn my trade there, because I'm very serious about becoming a first teamer for Liverpool. No, not let me go and sit on the bench and go, yeah, I'm playing for Liverpool, and then on my social media. And this is why we've fallen so far behind. And we're going to fall even further, bro. Like, you think buying players is going to improve us? No. So that we're going to do for the next 10 years, keep buying players, and we're not going to bring no one through the academy.
This is where Curtis Jones is going to fail, because he's not going out on loan to do that, to prove him. We know he's a good player. We know he's got potential, but you know what? That potential is going to be spent, just sitting on a bench or not even playing.
Yeah, I mean, you're all right. I mean, I agree with all of you, but I look at the Curtis thing. With Curtis Jones, I don't think a loan's pointless. I would just release him. I'd let him go.
See on Curtis Jones, are we rating him because he's a homegrown player, because he's a scoutser? Are we too fascinated with making sure we have a scoutser in the team instead of making sure quality?
He plays. He's a good player. He's a really good player.
He's good, yes.
Nah, John, we're not gonna do that, mate. It's not that. We're not gonna do that.
He's good.
Nah. Here's the issue, John. He as a football player, obviously, I don't know if you played it yourself here, but as a football player, for you to get the best out of yourself, one, you need someone that believes in your ability, and two, you need to be playing in your natural position. If you're not doing any of them, no matter how good or how rubbish you think someone is, you're never gonna get the best out of them. This is why Maguire plays so well for England, but he plays so rubbish for Man United, because he has a manager that believes in him, that plays him. That's why you see better performances and plays him in his natural position.
I totally agree with what you say.
What do you think he was doing in the under-23s when Gerrard was there? He was balling out. What do you think he does for the under-21s? He balls out. What does he do for... Bro, Klopp is putting him in the 6, a double pivot, an 8, then he plays him on the left wing, and then we started seeing that, actually, you know what? He can play there.
There's a big difference between balling out in the U23s and there is balling out in the Premier League team.
Yeah, but if you're not playing in your natural position, bro, it doesn't matter. You have to be playing in your natural position.
I think he's been there long enough.
You got a man trying to train, he's an electrician, and you're trying to make him a bricklayer, bro. It's not going to work. He came in as an electrician, bro. Like, come on, man. Klopp has to... I don't want to get on the Klopp, man.
Yo, look, it's not I'm quick to jump on the Klopp thing, but with the Jones thing, like, a lot of people say, like, I'm in particular harsh on him. But I get what John is trying to say. It's not that point of him just being a scouser. He hasn't improved in about 2-3 years. He hasn't. What you're seeing now is what we saw 2-3 years ago. So my issue isn't he's not good enough or he's not that guy. It's, bro, you're at the same level you was 2-3 years ago.
There's a reason, though.
Yeah, but whether that's because of Klopp, whether it's because the guy he's learning from is Milner, or whatever the case is, bro, Foden was learning off David Silva, one of the greatest.
Yeah,
Milner
but
is
Foden
a model
was playing.
professional. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to get at is Jones, bro, 2-3 years ago, he's at the same level. And 2-3 years ago, that was a good level to be at.
Yeah.
Not developing 2-3 years later. You haven't really developed anything, like you said, Hensman. Man has learned how to be a bricklayer this season. Next season, he's going to be an administrator just doing paperwork. Like, you need to be mastering your every year we're trying Jones in a new position.
Yeah, it's mad.
Every year. And so I get what your point is, but the thing is, by doing that, he's not actually developing, and he's not really grabbing any of them by the scruff of the neck. You see how Trent went right back, and he might have been learning how to do right back, but he said, you know what, I'm gonna make this right back thing mine. Jones haven't really did that with any of the new profession we've been introducing him to. So I think at that point, Jamie, it's sad, but yeah, we release him. Maybe we sign him up to get more money when we sell him. But there's a decent player in there. He just haven't been developed. Harvey, he looks more mature, still has his way to go. So I think signing new players could help him. As far as the other men, man, I don't really know how that help us. And I'm starting to jump on with a lot of the other fans. Let's go get the men that's ready today and cut this tomorrow thing out. Because we're in this season right now. I ain't got time to worry about 2025 season. I'm worried about this season right now. And you know what? In January, let's get a man for the beginning of next season. Don't go get me a man in January for the next 2 seasons. I need a man for the next coming season.
Let's talk about January.
Go on.
Let's talk about January. So, right. Obviously, we in the news that Luis Diaz is now out till March. I mean, but everyone said, I know, I saw it all online. Why did he come back when he weren't ready and all that? Apparently, this has nothing to do with his old injury. It's a brand new injury. You know, did everyone seen the R9 documentary? Yeah, everyone seen it? Yeah, you know when he came back from injury and he said he was fine, and then he started training, and then he actually, you know, he ripped the ligaments in his knee completely went away. They completely fell off,
tore off,
and his knee slipped down his leg, didn't it? All right, that was a completely different injury because, you know, the damage in his knee. And when I look at Diaz, the way Diaz moves, you know, the way he moves when he's got the ball and stuff like that, his knees are going to have issues, man. He's always going to have these knee issues, like in my opinion, for injuries. And this is a whole different injury, apparently. This is AL something injury.
LCL.
Yeah, that's it. And he's going to be out till March because of it. He's having immediate operation. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. So with him out, Jota, we don't know when he's coming back, because the only thing I would say about Liverpool, they never give you a clear thing on when players come back. It's always like, yeah, it's not ready yet. Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Man, who are we hiding it from? Who are we
I know
hiding
we never really get fresh. So I don't know when Jota's back, you know. Jota and Diaz could be doing, you know, do you remember at the beginning of Rocky 2 when Apollo and Rocky are in the same hospital laughing at each other and stuff like that? You know, so Diaz
Melo's back in a few days. Arthur Melo's back in a few days, so that's good.
You know, but so I don't know when they're coming back. So it's not just a midfielder we need in January for me. I think we need a forward, because right now we've only got Bobby, Darwin, and Salah, really first choice forwards at this moment.
Moussa Diaby all day long.
Well, there is a certain name going around. He plays for Crystal Palace, and Zaha is the name going around at the moment.
In January.
Yeah, because
you can get him on a pre-agreement for the end of the season, or you can just go in there and get him for the cheap.
Freebies, man. Have we really come to that?
He's available for 10 minutes.
Nah, but listen,
the way I look at it, right? The way I look at it, right?
I'm not knocking him, by the way.
I think it's an okay signing, right?
Yeah.
I would be like, take him as a loan deal. If he had years on his contract, I'd be like, someone like that would take him on a loan deal, and then maybe like use him for this period, because you know how good he is. Use him for this period while we've got the injuries, and then let him go back. Right?
Wait a minute.
Upon reflection, trusting my years of
Sorry,
experience.
Jamie. Sorry, bro.
My level fell over George Best. Over George Best, you know?
Savage. I couldn't hold it.
Savage, the link's in the chat if you want to join, man. The link's in the chat.
Jump in.
Man assaulted John today, you know.
Savage, I need to know why. Links in the chat, my man. Links in the chat.
The next thing he's going to say is fucking Curtis Jones, Byron George Best. I swear to God.
All right, Joe. All right. Here we go. You happy now? You happy now?
There you go, George Best. There he is. Legend.
You happy now? Yeah.
George Best
Well,
is
you know, the disrespect that the Buffet of all the players Savage could have mentioned.
He smashed it.
I just love the fact of my years of knowledge.
Yeah, nah.
Bro, the warm up to that punchline, you know, I was reading it, you know, and I'm like, bro. He said,
I wasn't even warm. I was a straight uppercut, bruvs. Put him straight out.
Well, it
fuck
comes
you,
in.
just leave George Best name out your fucking mouth.
Jamie, do you know where that comparison coming from?
Is that all? Have you been talking about that on the watch alongs? Have you? Is that what you've been chatting about?
No,
but we did a World 11, and I was on it in the beginning when they did the keeper. By the time I come back, the keeper and the back four got picked. So when I walked into the convo, they were trying to pick left wing. I didn't notice at the time. So the conversation was Ronaldinho left wing as the world greatest 11.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
And John, I guess, and Kieran was arguing for best. And they argue for best from left midfield, center mid to right midfield, and couldn't get best in the team.
So best got into the thing.
Yeah, he got into the reserve. Best ended up getting into the reserve, but Best lost out to Dino, Zidane, Gerrard, and Figo. So they're not really happy about that midfield four, saying Best should have got in there. And John just couldn't let it go. Kieran, I think he actually left the stream for a bit because he was like, there's no way I'm having Figo over Best. And it's just been a banter for John ever since, man.
People even came for John and said he's called John Trump.
If this was a pub 11, yeah, you'd probably put George Best in, but not.
Fucking disrespect. I'll tell you one thing. George Best knows a good fucking pub.
Yeah, George. he did like a drink, God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, just to wrap it up, Jenny. And to make matters worse, John went in the chat with fake accounts trying to vote for. The chat ended up calling him John Trump.
That's just pure fake news. That never happened.
John Trump.
Check the video out. You'll see.
I didn't go in the fucking chat on fake accounts. I used my own account.
Oh man, you got a Northern Irishman on the chat.
But yeah, back to the January thing, man. Artemelo's back in a few days. Do you think that affects anything?
What I was saying about Sahar, quickly is like,
it's a half of the 10 mil.
Because it's only 10 million that you could probably get him for. I'd have. What's a loan fee? 6-7 million. So, a 10 million transfer, if it don't work out, you could probably just get your money back. Do you know what I mean? So,
what's he, 28?
I'm not sure. Even
28, 29?
Yeah, even if he's 30 or something, you can get your money back on Zaha. You're not going to lose much anyway. So, for me, he's a decent player. It's someone who can come on in games and have a little bit of an impact. He can play down the middle as well, like he's doing for Palace at the moment as well. So, he's a decent footballer. And I'm trying to think what's out there because we need an attacker. I think we're going to have to look at it badly because with Diaz out till March.
Jamie.
Yeah, with Diaz out till March, and then you're thinking at March, what's that? Really playing again by April? The season's over, ain't it? And then getting back up to level as well is going to take a while. So you might as well wait till Diaz till next season now.
Just say he's out for the season, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jamie?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then Jota, if Jota's back soon, hopefully it ain't too long with Jota. That's good because
I don't think Jota's going to be back for a long time.
I mean, he ripped his calf muscle, man, but he didn't have surgery. The thing I'm confused with the Jota thing, yeah, they say it's a long-term injury, but when you have a calf tear like he did, if it didn't require surgery, it's not grade 3. Grade 3 is when it comes off the bone. They have to put it, you have to have surgery to put it back. Yeah. So if it's not a tear that's come off the bone, then it didn't need surgery. It can't be that long. It can't.
No.
It can't be that long of a deal.
No, they're saying that. Do you know what I mean? To cover their own stuff.
Hang on. He's making his grand return. It's been what? I can't remember how many weeks now, but he's making his grand return to the channel. He's taken up Mandarin, I think, while he's been away.
Yeah, he's come on with that name.
He's deep in a book as well at the moment. He's deep in a book. He's back. It's the one and only Hugo the Savage.
Come on.
Sorry to disturb you, bro. Sorry to disturb you.
This is my captain, you know.
Is that a good book? Yeah.
Great book, man. Great book. What's going on, boys?
Good,
How we doing, man? Everyone
good, bro.
Yeah,
Good.
welcome, Savage, man. Hey, that one finished me. Hey, Jamie, I gotta run, do some errands. It's good to see you smiling, bro. We were really concerned when you started the stream.
Nah, trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You read out
good
two
to see you
things,
smiling, man. I'm glad
You've got colour in your face now, man. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's heroin. That's heroin.
Yeah, you guys take care, man. I gotta run. All right.
See you later, bro.
See you later. So, are you Savage?
All right, man. Chilling, bruv. No, like that.
Good.
Fucking
Killing the watch-alongs. You're killing the watch-alongs, my man.
But it's World Cup, innit, man? Yeah, you know I mean, just trying to get the vibes going.
Congrats on the new subs as well, man. Congrats.
Man, you can have them all, bro. I don't want them, bro.
It's good.
I don't care about these damn subs.
You've done well, mate. You've done well.
Nah,
I mean, you've put in work, man. These watch-alongs ain't. It's hard work, man. 7 hours a day.
Yeah, it's a man still. It's different. It's definitely different to flipping Premier League one thing.
You enjoy the World Cup, though?
I'm enjoying the World Cup, man. It's been good, bro. It's been good, man. Seen some good football, seen some bad football, seen some moments. Yeah, man. It's vibes.
Question for everyone on the panel, actually, right now. What is the higher quality, Champions League or World Cup?
Champions League.
Champions League all day long.
They're both dwindling a bit, but Champions League probably.
Yeah, I've been having this argument because I said it as well. I think Drifty said it on Coppish the other day as well. Because I look at this World Cup. I mean, is everyone watching a Croatia-Morocco final?
Yeah.
I'm a football fan first, man. So I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
It's just, you know what I mean? I think Champions League has higher quality. The fact that the only reason I go with Champions League have higher quality, look at all the world-class players that are not in the World Cup. You know what I mean? That will be playing Champions League football. So, but the World Cup's been well good. It started poorly. The first week or so, as always, is really boring. But I think these knockout games have been good, apart from when Croatia play. Jesus Christ.
Do you know what it is as well, Jamie, though? The reason why I think people are looking at it as a comparison is because it's just the way that they started off this World Cup with all the controversy and the media coverage about the silly little things that they wanted to put out there.
Yeah,
so we kind of had a bad taste early, so we was like, oh yeah, we must watch it. Plus the time of year where it's in as well, we're like, it's Christmas. We want to see these guys fight in the Premier League in the snow. You know what I mean? We don't want to.
And it literally is snowing.
Yeah, we want to. You know what I mean? We want to see these guys out there with the gloves on playing in the Premier League game, kicking the hell out of each other. But so I think sometimes this one has not been the best, but it's still good, man. It's good. If it's in the summer, it's in a good, nice.
I'll tell you what I like about the World Cup, though.
Yeah, you guys think that they should? You know how Italy's not in the they're not in the World Cup and the European champions. Just a thought in it. I was thinking the other day, wouldn't you think that with that trophy,
you should be in the World Cup?
Yeah, like with the Copa America and the Euros, it should be a place in the World Cup.
Well, if Europa League can get you Champions League, then international tournament. They're going to do it eventually, by the way. Savage, people are watching, so don't get.
They want to pay me some of that corruption money, but I'm here for it.
I think you'll see in a few years' time when they go, you know what, the Copa America winners, the champion, the European winners. What's the one in North America they do?
The Copa. Oh, the other one.
Yeah. Canoble, is it, or something like that? I can't pronounce it properly. Canada and Mexico and everyone.
Oh.
Is it the Gold Cup? or something like that.
Oh, it's terrible, man.
Yeah, they win that. The winners of all that get an automatic buy into the World Cup. It'll happen eventually. And you know what else will happen as well? I think the reason the World Cup has been pretty exciting and quite an uneven level between the nations is because it's in the middle of a season. CONCACAF, there you go. That's the one.
Yeah, because everyone's fit.
CONCACAF, that's it.
Yeah. Because everyone's fit. No one's got dead legs because they've had a grueling season. You know what I mean? So everyone's fit, and sharp. That's why I think FIFA will be looking at it in the future and be going, you know what? Winter World Cups might be the thing going forward.
It's kind of what happened with Liverpool, and that's how the Champions League winner ended up in the next year's Champions League. Because before Liverpool, it didn't happen, and then we won it in 2005, and then finished like 6th. So they put us in because Everton finished ahead of us that season, and that's qualify. And then the whole argument was, how can you have the Champions League? How can somebody try and retain their title if they ain't there? Obviously, it's a little bit different because France are the champions, not Italy. But at the same time, it's weird, bro. It's very weird, especially you just heard all that Nations League rubbish, bro. It's very weird not to have the champions of the different tournaments there. But it's a shame, anyway, because obviously it's a lottery on where you're born. But the fact that Haaland and Salah's at home is crazy. It's crazy. Really mad.
Listen, look. I think the World Cup's been fun, man. And look, I'm Team Messi all the way. I ain't gonna hide it. I'm Team Messi all the way. I can't have Croatia shit ass their way past Argentina to a final.
I just don't want to see Croatia and France again, bro. I can't have that.
In all reality, though, do you think that is going to be the final?
It could well be the final.
Unless Morocco can pull something off.
Morocco, my team, man. Big up Morocco.
They can pull something off.
They got Buffon, so all I'm saying is they could win that.
It was the first African side to get to the semi-final of a World Cup. And I'll tell you what, look, obviously we all watched the France-England game yesterday. Quickly get onto that in a minute before we go back onto Liverpool stuff. But the France, as a team, I don't think France are that great as a team. I think they rely on a lot of individuals. I think they rely on their individual quality. Do you know, I said it yesterday, they remind me of Man United under Solskjaer. You know, when Man United under Solskjaer, they finished runners-up. They weren't a great team, but they relied on individual brilliance in their players to get them over the line in games like Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes at the time, things like that. But as a team, they weren't great. And when I look at France and I look at Argentina, I see the same thing. But when I look at Morocco and Croatia, I see a complete team unit from goalkeeper to forward, if that makes sense. But they haven't got the out-and-out individual quality that Argentina and France have got in Messi and Mbappe. So that's why I think at the end of it, that's why it might be a France-Argentina final because of that.
There is an outline message, question with the quality of football or in general, and probably will never be answered because we won't be able to compare it to the past. Things will change, but I think if you're a fan of all of the top players and you're a little bit more biased towards it, you'll say that the quality of football is a bit like, I don't know, there's a massive gap. For me, I just think that now that everyone's playing in the higher European leagues now, the Korean players, the Japan players, the African players, compared to from like 1998 and 2002 and stuff like that, it just means that they're on a better level and the other ones ain't so great because people are starting to play for different countries now. Before they were trying to just choose the best ones, what they could play for, where their nan was from and stuff like that. So I think you're right, because when you watch Argentina, I don't think they've been very good this whole tournament, apart from the Australia game. And Messi's scored goals in games and got them over the line and that, but they ain't looked that great to me. Whereas there's togetherness of some other teams where I've seen better performances. Some people are just not in the tournament anymore because that is what experience and skill gets you, bro. Like that talent does get you over the line sometimes, and it's always been that way in football. So, for the other teams that haven't done it, the ones where you would expect it with like Germany and Spain and Portugal up until like the last game and stuff, it's like, okay, we're not doing too well. Let's get our best player to get us out of trouble at the end of this game, and it ain't happening. Whereas, with France, they have done that, because I did say that, like, it's not just Mbappe, bro. As soon as you start making everything about one player, trust me, there's a feeling what the other team gets where they're like, are they taking a piss out of us, bro? Like, they think that we're just one guy, and that's why it was Giroud who got the goals, bro, because they're not just one person. So,
that's true. That's true. Absolutely, I agree.
I agree. I mean, it's got to be the love affair for me with Messi winning it. I just want to see it happen. I really do. But that's just me. He's the greatest footballer I've ever watched. So
I think you're right, Jay. I think at the moment, I think most of the world wants to. There's still
I can't wait to see Messi go home tears.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, just because
I can't stand him.
John, what's your reason for not standing Messi, bro?
It's because he's got a better liver than George Best.
I don't think he's best. No, all honesty, I don't think he's the best player in the world. People call him the GOAT. Why is he the GOAT?
So who's the best player in the world for you then, in your opinion?
The GOAT of my generation. I mean, you have to say it's Ronaldo.
Cristiano.
Thank you.
You do. Ronaldo.
I mean, if you want to, I'm so fed up with the argument. I don't care about. If you want to put Ronaldo as your GOAT, it's fine by me.
Well, he's not in the World Cup anymore, John.
I know he is. I think fuck he is. I don't like him.
I mean, Ronaldo's your GOAT, man. It's fair enough. It's
hard. The little thing what I've got that like.
It's hard to disagree.
Because I love Messi, brother, and the story it'd be nice that Messi wins it and that. But you know, if we're honest with ourselves, even though he is Messi, he's the guy. It kind of don't feel right when he's not like the prime super Messi, brother. I kind of want to see like obviously I wasn't alive for like Maradona and Pele doing it.
2010 Messi. You want to see 2010 Messi?
They were in their prime, like winning the tournament, so it felt different. This one feels like even when he's got shit house his way to it, and it's not just his fault. Obviously, his team's not very good. But I don't know for that reason. Obviously, like aside from England, I wanted Messi to get the trophy anyway. Yeah. But I've kind of it's something to watch along. I back the underdogs all the way through the tournament, man, because it almost feels like a better story, and then it doesn't. You know what I mean? Or at the moment, we've just seen all of these like end of an era guys go home crying so far. And
it's sad, isn't it?
Like Messi to defy the odds, but at the same time, if he doesn't, and then he goes home crying as well, I'm here for Morocco to win it, bro.
Yeah, I'm here for Morocco to win it as well if Messi can't, exactly. But
or I'm here for Declan Lovren to lift the World Cup, bro.
Yeah, Lovren. Yeah.
He's been great, yeah. And
we might have to have a talk about Lovren because
best defender in the world.
Yeah, as we spoke about it, man.
No, you look at Lovren's career, yeah. The only place he's ever been dodgy is Liverpool.
Against Tottenham. Against Tottenham, that first
The only problem he's been dodgy, you look at him when he was at Southampton, we bought him for a reason because he was great. The reason Southampton bought him in the first place because he looked great. He's gone and got, look at him in the 2 World Cups that he's played for Croatia. He hasn't put a foot wrong. I don't see this. You know, when he plays for Liverpool, he's all about really fighting the opposition, weren't he? More than winning the ball. He looks great, man. Maybe like,
not a settled team.
He was more of a Brendan Rodgers signing. I don't think Jurgen Klopp would buy a defender like Lovren because I don't think it suits the system in what Klopp wants to defend with. That's why he bought Kanate with his, his pace and his aggression and can play that higher up the pitch. You know, Lovren, you get Lovren high up the pitch, you're in trouble, ain't you? So it was more of a thing that Klopp just had to use him for the time being until he could get the players he wanted. Yeah. But Lovren's a great player. Gravadol's been excellent as well. I don't believe he's 20 years of age though.
Bloody hell, he's mad.
You can't be 20 with that beard. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Stuck on, man. Stuck on.
It looks like one of them spray Turkish jobs.
Fake passport.
Under the mask, he's got slits in his eyebrows as well. Don't play, bro. Trust me, he's a man, then, bro.
Right, these eyebrows, No, they're good players, man. They're good players. There's one fraud, though, in the World Cup. I just can't be bothered talking about him anymore. But there is one fraud in the World Cup. We all know who it is.
In the World Cup?
Yeah, there's a fraud.
Who's the fraud?
I honestly don't know who you're talking about, bro.
I won't bring it up in.
There's only 4 teams left.
Well, he ain't in the World Cup no more.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fraud settings.
Wow, man could short him out. Don't you at the Tottenham fans, Jamie, bro?
Setting. Yeah, Spurs fans come at me. Kane goes missing all the time. Big game, said it. Also, Divock Origi's had bigger moments in his career as a footballer than Harry Kane. And
It's not even comparable, bro.
And that's a fact,
He's
by the
way
way.
more bigger
When
moments.
Origi, in 20 years' time, I can guarantee you this right now, FIFA will show video packages of Origi's 2 goals against Barcelona at the second leg at Liverpool. Right? They will show video packages of Origi getting a winner against Spurs in a Champions League final, winning the European Cup. It's horrible. What's Kane go look at? I beat Alan Shearer's record. Yeah, great. Well done.
Exactly. He hasn't won football.
And
John, stop hating.
Gal Platt has been fantastic this World Cup.
Why is Modric slow yet?
Careful, you're getting John excited, man.
Man got bare acceleration speed. Modric, I don't know where it come from.
Modric always had that, though, Savage.
He's got that 5-yard
Always
pace,
had
hasn't
it.
he? 5-yard pace,
Yeah.
hasn't he? He's got 5
Always
yard
had
pace.
it.
I said last night, Harry Kane hasn't won fuck all in his career.
Nah, Captain Sal's right, man. He has got the Audi Cup, bro. They did win that.
He won the Audi Cup, man.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's
Do
that bad.
you know how bad that is, though? Tottenham won the Audi Cup and all the players got Skodas.
No, boys,
How did
for
they
real.
even give him the car? How they were like,
Boys.
no.
Boys,
We thought this was going to a bigger team.
Boys, quick question to the panel, guys. Do you actually think people call him world class, we should put him under the world class bracket?
I've said it for a while now. I believe in the whole world of football, there's probably only 10 world class players.
Yeah, Ensman. If
I
you,
think
carry on. Sorry,
I think world class. I think we say world class too much about players. If Harry Kane was truly world class, truly and utterly world class, he would have the mindset to be playing anywhere but Tottenham Hotspur right now at 28 years of age. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think
He's a very good footballer, but if you look at the majority of footballers in the top end of football around the world, thousands of top end footballers, I would say really only 10 of them are proper world class.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are just very, very good footballers. And I don't understand what's wrong with that. I don't understand what's wrong with Harry Kane just being a very good footballer. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I listen, I agree. I know John, obviously me and John, we spoke on another stream yesterday about Harry Kane.
That wasn't what you were saying last night, boss.
No, I know. What I said last night, okay, he's the most prolific. Well, he scored more goals than anyone else.
You said he was the best ever.
Because stats wise, for England, he's the best ever goal scorer. So I'm right.
What's he going to look at when he retires? His stats? Fuck that.
I mean, for England, look, it's. I don't know what. Look, I've got a fucking tampon here for some reason.
That's for John. That's for John.
Tampon boys, bro.
That's my fucking wife. With the wife at the computer, man. I don't know why she's got it at the computer either. What is she doing? But with Kane, look, I've always said, look, he could be top goal scorer for England all he wants. Yeah, he's not a better footballer than Wayne Rooney.
Thank you.
No chance.
Yeah,
he won't. And that
for
sense
John,
of his age
I was
now, I can already.
Yeah,
as I can confirm, he will never be now. Towards the end of the stream yesterday, me, John, and Zabiri spoke about this, and I kind of made statements about this world-class generational thing because it kind of pisses me off, to be honest. Only in debates, because I think that the last maybe the last 4 years of social media and everyone's opinions have made this thing like ridiculous now. Everyone's world-class and everyone's generational. And it's like generational comes around once in a generation, but you've got 50 of them in the world. Well, then you can't all be generational, but it doesn't make any sense. And Ash made a point in the chat yesterday, and I agreed 100% with the world-class thing. It's like, there's only so many players in the world, and it's almost, you take that one player, and you look around the top teams of the world, because it doesn't really matter about the smaller teams, and you go, does this player get into this starting 11? Or even does he get into this team? So you 22 players, 2 of them are goalkeepers, or 3, depending on how your team is. Does he get into that squad? If he doesn't, he ain't world-class, bro. He ain't world class, bro. You take them flipping 2007, 5, 6, AC Milan teams and that, and then take man like Foden and that now and try and drop them in the team. He ain't getting in the team, bro. Yeah. He's not getting in the team.
Yeah. But he scored more than George Best, though, John.
I just seen Edward just agreed with the thing about Kane. But when me and Jamie said about Foden before, man was killing for us, bro, just saying he wasn't world class. Even though We just said he's a great footballer, bro. But
He's not a
I
world
just
class.
don't understand how he shifted from being a youth player, then getting a few minutes for Man City, then having a season where he plays most of the time to being world class. I just don't get it, bro. And he's in for England, bro. I ain't seen no consistent performances yet from Foden. He was terrible yesterday. Didn't do anything. So
2 touches.
Yeah. I'm waiting for like consistent performances and consistent performances in big games is when you can bring world-class people to me and stuff
What
like
we're
that.
going to have to do, guys, what we're going to have to do, because I don't talk about it too much, and we'll get back to some Liverpool said.
Jimmy,
Hang on, John, hang on. You can say it 1 second. What we'll do, we'll have to do a debate show where we get a load list of players. We'll get a load of list of players, right? Europe's top players. Go through it and discuss if they're actually world class or not. You know, and have a proper discussion about it, because you got players like Kevin De Bruyne. Some people are actually saying maybe he's a system player. He's not actually world class. Right. You know, look at Belgium compared to Man City. You got people like, I hate to admit this, but I think Bernardo Silva is better, right? Oh, I think Bernardo Silva is a better footballer. And I think Bernardo Silva at Man City, when he plays, he opens everything up for Kevin De Bruyne to do his thing, right? So I think he's actually a better footballer.
Right.
So, you know,
facts, bro.
And I think we're going to have a proper discussion about it, because I think everyone goes, if they have a good game, world class. It's like Ramos scored a hat-trick for Portugal, and because he plays for Benfica and he's a year younger than Darwin, everyone was like, we bought the wrong player from Benfica. And then the next game, he was shit, by the way, for Portugal. So everyone is so reactionary these days as fans, and we just automatically label a person world-class or elite or got potential to be generational and all these things. Maybe they're just extremely good footballers, but they're just a rung under the world-class bracket. But by the way, guys, that doesn't mean they're shit. Being extremely good.
That totally doesn't mean you're shit, yeah.
Being extremely good at your sport, in your position, is probably as good as most professional footballers actually playing in your position. There's probably only world-class is something completely different, man. But we'll have a debate about that in another show. Yeah. But go on, John, what was you going to say?
Sorry, are we finished talking about Hurricane yet?
Yeah, we stopped talking about him.
Yeah, I was literally just about to go get another fucking beer and make myself comfortable. I really enjoyed that chat.
Listen, he scored more than George Best, bruv, so don't watch that.
Couldn't go to the game. George Best has a Ballon d'Or. Thank you very much.
He scored more goals than him.
Where's Hurricane Ballon d'Or?
So was Michael Owen.
Ballon d'Or.
Harry Kane has a liver.
So did George Best, he had two.
Behave yourself, John.
No, George Best is a quite. I can't sit here and say I know anything about George Best. The man played in the 60s.
There's a reason you don't know nothing about him.
Yeah, the man played in the 60s and early 70s. I don't really. The most George Best I know is when he was on Soccer Saturday having a laugh with Rodney Marsh. You know, that is really the George Best I know. I actually know his son more than George Best. And by the way, I've got a fact for you. My blood father, Keith, who's not my dad, he's just a sperm donor, right? But when I was born, he wanted to call me Callum and not Jamie. Because my blood father, Keith, is a massive Man United fan. Huge, right? Massive all the way through the 60s and that growing up, massive Man United fan, right? And he wanted to call me Callum because me and him, Callum was born a few months before I was. And George Best named his son Callum. And they wanted to name me Callum. My mum was like, I ain't naming him that.
Good on you, mum.
Thank you, mum. Thank you, mum. And then Keith, right, my blood father, he had all this Man United merchandise, in his cupboard, right? Shitloads of Man United merchandise, right? Proper good money, right? And when he left my mum, because he cheated on my mum, and it's because he's a scumbag. And he left my mum, right? And he cheated on my mum with a 17-year-old girl, by the way. And complete scumbag, and did it under her nose because they all worked at the same place. And in his cupboard, he had all his merchandise that's worth a lot of money, She chucked it out. Love her. Just threw it away. Tore it up, threw it away. And then obviously my real dad came along, Shane, my real dad, my hero. And I became a Liverpool fan. So this could really, if everything turned out like it was, this could be a Man United channel.
Got to put that in a book.
Yeah, so my actual dad, my real dad, because you say you don't have, blood don't make the dad. You know what I mean?
It does a fuck.
So yeah, that's his little thing there. Fuck Man United. But let's talk. I've got a little thing for you, right?
George Best.
And George. Who wants to hear some? Who wants to hear?
George Best, please? Come on now, leave George Best out in the
I'm just glad that you finally agreed with me that Bernardo Silva is the best Man City player, because
Bernardo Silva.
beginning of the season when I said that, man, so I see Man City fans that I didn't know that have come after me, bro. I was like, listen, it's just a fact.
Yeah, he's just. Man City won a Premier League without Kevin De Bruyne, by the way, because Bernardo Silva was cutting up stuff.
He's just a horrible. He's just a piece of shit, bro. But he's
he's a rat boy. He's a rat boy, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a horrible person, but he's a great.
Right. You know, on that what we just said about world class, and I have to think that some of that might be based. It might come from the Liverpool fan base still. I think I think Liverpool fan base and Man City's fan base made all this argument about world class players and that, bro. Because
I think we did. I literally.
I think toppling Man City for them the one season just made everyone be like, yeah, he's world class. World class.
Because I've got a thing right now. I don't think Virgil van Dijk's world class anymore.
Man, sending for the Verge.
I think it's just. I think the just brought him down a rung.
I'm not gonna wreck you on that one. Still,
I think it's just brought him down a rung of the ladder. But if he can go back up, he'll get back up to it.
Do you know what?
He was onside, man.
He's got 1 foot in the boat and 1 foot out the boat.
Jamie, listen. The reason why I don't think that's true yet, and I was saying, I think me, Baz and Zabir is having a conversation on it. I just think he's lost his what's the word that I use?
Hunger.
No, it ain't even his hunger, bro.
His hair gel.
It's not even his aura, bro. It was just like his presence, bro. He's just lost a bit of presence, bro. People now think they can get at him. I think he just needs a run of games where he just starts beating up everyone like he used to. And then everyone's going to be like, okay, all right, Virg is back. And then, when you run with that narrative, then the strikers will be like, it must be true. When you just run with a certain narrative and then everyone starts believing it's true. That's what happened to him. It's not like he's gotten any worse. He's lost. Yeah, like Wino said, he lost his fear factor. That's all has happened, bro. He hasn't lost his ability to defend. He's now people think I can go and get at him. Yeah, that's all it is, man.
We've seen that more while we've not been good in it. We've not seen that like Liverpool's been good and he's been terrible. We've seen it while Liverpool's not been very good and he's not been the greatest Virgil. So I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. So I agree with you there. Like I said though, the best thing to think of if you think he might not be, just think of a World 11 in your head. And then think of who gets in ahead of him.
Who gets in a World 11 right now?
2 spaces ahead of centre-back. Who gets in ahead of him? I don't think.
To be honest, I think, you are right. I think if you're doing a World 11 right now, if they did a FIFA World 11, do you remember when they used to do them games?
Yeah, man.
And Gerrard got in the FIFA World 11. And Gerrard got in the FIFA World 11 over Lampard, and everyone went mad about it. If you did a FIFA World 11 right now and played a game, I think Virgil would be one of the.
You'll get in there, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But you're right though. It doesn't mean because I think if you've done a FIFA World 11 now, the standard of it is not as high as it should be. That's for everyone.
I'm trying to think of another real outstanding world class centre back actually.
Well, because you made a point yesterday when you came on, which is what I literally said it the day before, where I'd like if you try to make a World 11 now. Listen, you might have to think about it a lot more than you would.
I'm trying to think of another centre back go over.
There's not amazing people in every position, like off the top of my head. If I asked all of you guys the same question in 2004, 2005, 2006, make a World 11, you'd struggle because you'd have too many players, and you'd want to squeeze them in. Now I might end up with 14 players.
That's what I said. Is there only legitimately 10 world class players in the world at the moment?
If you don't listen. People always try and rub out goalkeepers in the top 10s and that, innit? But Alisson's one of the best players in the world. Forget goal. He's one of the best players in the world right now. So
yeah.
Then you've only got 9 spaces left, bro. So
it is. No, that's gotta be a great. We'll do that in the week, guys. We'll do that debate show in the week. That'll be a good. That's gotta be a good one. So, God, that's right. Let's talk about Arthur Melo. I've got Arthur Melo.
Forget your George Best, bro, man.
We're talking about Arthur Melo now, man.
You can have
even he's a better player.
George Best is getting in this fucking team. I'm not going to get George Best on the team.
We'll let you have a 10-minute rant on George Best in that show, John. All right, I'll give you all the time. I'll mute everyone so you can just go.
He still ain't getting in after all of it, so you know.
Really fucking nice.
So Arthur Melo, guys, Arthur Melo. So Arthur Melo could actually be back to action for Liverpool earlier than expected after making progress in his thigh injury. Hang on, don't get too excited. There were fears that Arthur could be out up to 4 months,
What
and
a
the
shame
news
he's
of his setback emerged at the start of October. But it's been claimed he is ahead of schedule. Drum roll. By 2 weeks.
That's what they said about Diaz, and look what happened.
Don't worry, we'll get him off the fitness in
He's
that
only
2
made
weeks.
one first-team appearance since joining Liverpool on loan during the summer transfer window. So there you go, Arthur Melo, guys. Arthur Melo. What do we think about Arthur Melo? I mean, look, I've said it for a while that if this was a few years ago and we got Arthur Melo, I'd be buzzing because he was a decent footballer, man. You know, Arthur Melo at Barcelona was a very good footballer, and he's a Brazilian international.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, that's a decent footballer, man. But I think where we are now as a team, I think when the Arthur Melo news came through, and because he had that injury before he joined Liverpool, I think everyone was like a bit, can we do better than Arthur Melo? But I generally think if Arthur Melo is at a good age, I think he's only 27. Yeah. If you can get Arthur Melo fit, guys, if you can get Arthur Melo fit and keep him in the team, could Klopp get something out of Arthur Melo ends?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah,
listen, you don't go and play for Juventus and Barcelona for no reason and being a Brazilian international. And people just turn around and say, oh, because he gets injured. And the kind of people that I see say things like that, bro, is just people that don't know football. They just kind of run with whatever narrative that's out there. He's a quality player, man. But an unfit player will always look shit. So he came on in that game, played 15 minutes, not playing football for like a year. And people was like, oh, is this what we got? And like, bro, that's his first 15 minutes in like a year. Like, what did you expect him to do? Score 10 goals in the game,
wasn't it? Was it Napoli?
Yeah, like he was unfit, bro. He needed to get fit. He needed to get up to speed. He has to understand his new teammates, the new system that he's playing in. And we threw him in a game for 15 minutes and expected the world. Like, nah, man. I don't know, man.
I agree, man.
I struggle to have conversation with people. Sometimes.
I agree, bro. It's a sign of the times, bro. Everyone wants everything instant, bro. And they didn't want to give man a chance at all. And there was already a preconception of like getting the guy anyway, because it went down to the wire of the transfer window. It was the morning, wasn't it? Everyone woke up in the morning and it was just there. Yeah, me on transfer deadline day. And man was like, hold on a minute, bro. It was starting to look like we weren't going to get anyone. It feels like you just, let's be honest, it looks like some money laundering, to be honest, bro. Because it doesn't, bro, because it's like, hold on a minute. This is, man,
dirty money.
Just to make it look like it's part of the storyline and that. So they couldn't say, oh, no, you've gone and sold, got a flipping injured player. But anyone who's watched him before, which is the key thing, because judging from the way people speak about him, forget him being injured, feels like no one's watched him.
And facts.
He has great retention of the ball.
Yeah, great retention of the ball.
And what I discussed with Jerry on Jerry's show last night, I think what we get a bit, when we watch football now, I think people look too much into stats, far too much in football.
GA.
Right? They look at GA. I hate the word GA.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, that didn't exist. And expected goals and all this bollocks, yeah. Right? The only stat in football is the stat in the corner that tells you the score.
Oh, Jamie.
Bro,
any man who you'll see on the stream, any man who says XG to me on stream, bro. If I look rude, bro, I swear. Because in my head, I'm thinking, why have you mentioned expected? Bro, that's like mentioning my, like, you know, you do mock exams in school and it's like, it was expected to get an A. I don't care.
You went home with a C. So what happened? You know what I mean?
I've seen some, I can't remember who it was, so I'm not going to call him because I can't remember who it was. It was after a Liverpool game and it was like, oh, we lost to Nottingham. Our expected goals was 4 and theirs was, they had more XG than us. What the fuck? I don't even know what. What's that mean, bro?
Yeah, no, it's mad.
Exactly. And I'm with you on this. This is what I'm saying. So, way I look at football sometimes, I look at it and like, so you look at Gini Wijnaldum, yeah, and I think now it sort of shows why we do miss a player like Gini Wijnaldum. There's nothing wrong with hard-working midfielders who are great at retaining possession, but then pass the ball simply. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it because that ain't a stat at the end of the game. There's nothing you can measure that player to at the end of a game if you've not watched the match.
Yep.
Right? But then if you watch the game, you're like, shit, Genie in that midfield, he's running around, he's getting stuck in, he's going in on tackles, he's winning us the ball back. And when he's got the ball, he actually retains it well. How many times do you ever see Genie get knocked off the ball and lose the ball?
He's was strong as hell.
He was press resilient as well. He could turn on the ball. He's a good on the half turn. And then he just played the ball simple. He didn't have to do a 30-yard spectacular pass from right to left or anything like that, or do a rainbow flick to go past the player. I've watched Dembele play for France this World Cup, right? If you didn't know who Dembele was, yeah, and this is your first time experiencing him, right? But someone told you, this Dembele kid, man, when him and Mbappe came through together, there weren't much between them. He's that good, right? And this is your first experience of watching Dembele this World Cup. You'd be like, yeah, he's good at running the ball. He's running with the ball really well, but he doesn't really do anything else. You know what I mean? And then everyone raves about players that do certain things with the ball and like do a trick, going past people and all that. And it's like, it's all nice and good and all that, but it's what you do for your team. And someone like Arthur Melo, I really think if we bought Arthur Melo in the summer as one of our first signings, there wouldn't be so much aggro. Right? Because it was a last minute deal. But when you watch him for Juventus and Barcelona, the reason he was so good playing for Barcelona is because he got the ball, he retained possession really well. Yeah? What Pep likes. He kept the ball simple. He kept it basic. There's nothing wrong being quite a basic player on the ball at times. Makelele made the defensive midfield position so good they named it after him. Yeah. On the ball, it's basic as fuck.
There's a preconception though, Jamie. There's a preconception, bro. He's not a basic football player. This is why you have to. I don't want to call no one out in the comments, bro, but they're talking about he's injury prone. We don't want to buy no more injury prone. We can even easily say that Klopp is making our squad an injury prone squad. And there's only certain players that can join our team and be durable in this squad. Because people are coming that's never been injured, come into our team and becoming injury prone. Yeah. So that comment that you made, bro, makes no sense to me about we shouldn't be buying injury prone players. These men are not injury prone, they just get injured, bro. But in our system, Klopp is just injuring off all of our players. Got man with just bare muscle injuries out of nowhere. Liverpool never had that issue until Klopp came in. Apart from Klopp, can we remember any one of our players? I think Torres probably was the last one. I thought, he kept getting hamstring injuries, and that's because he was lightning quick.
There weren't a lot. I will give you that. But it's like when people say that availability is the best ability. But what if the ability they got is shit?
Yeah, that's true because availability is only good if you're a good player, bro.
So I've always said
Adrian's always available.
Yeah,
no,
and
you see him today. Sorry, Jamie, bro. No.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I think look, players get injuries. It's just a natural thing that happens in football. Players get injuries. A lot of the best players don't though. They look after their bodies really well, and I think there is a part of that as a player. I think in this day and age, you can look after your body in a certain way. I mean, look at Messi and Ronaldo. Messi just played his 1,000th competitive game. Ronaldo's played 1,100 competitive games. And they're still doing it at the top of their because they look after their bodies, man. They eat right, they rest at the right times, they recuperate properly. They might not always train either. That's the thing as well. You can overtrain.
Try to have this conversation, man.
It's like R9 in the documentary when he says, I train too much. I don't need to train that much. And Christian Vieri's talking, going like, don't let him train. It's pointless. Let him have the day off. He'll win us the game Saturday. It's like, he doesn't need to train so much. You're overtraining players, maybe. Maybe there's a thing in that.
Bro, we're definitely overtraining them. We're going to get players in. Like, listen, Mane, under these certain players are built a sterner stuff in it. So Mane, Virgil, apart from he got assaulted for his injury, Salah, Genie Wijnaldum, even like Trent at times, bro, he doesn't really get injured as much as I would say other players in the team. But these guys are built with different stuff. But if we bring in, like, say, Amrabat now, and then a couple of weeks into the season, he's got a hamstring or a quad injury, you're like, hold on a minute, bro. The guy who's been diving in and lunging in and punching up people in the World Cup didn't get one injury. And he comes 2 weeks into Liverpool and all of a sudden his thigh's gone or his hamstring's gone or his calf is gone. You're like, nah, man. Can't be doing that, man. Darwin might be built of stern stuff as well because the running that he does, surprised he ain't even injured.
We got to be
I'll
careful.
speak to you
Darwin.
soon, mate.
Yeah,
No,
we
but
got.
I'm at that
Darwin,
point.
we
I
got to be
expect it.
careful. We got to be
Listen,
careful. Darwin.
I expect him to get injured because I know for a fact
His
the
work
training
rate.
sessions that we do
Work rate.
and how he plays, I will not be surprised if he gets injured. And we're talking about not signing injury-prone players, but we're making players injury-prone.
Mm.
We can't look past that fact.
Cater weren't injury.
Naby was an injury-prone guy. He come into the team, we can't even play him.
Cater only missed 12 days of football in 4 years before he came to Liverpool. I mean, it's just look. The thing as well is, I think some players have mentioned this who ain't played for Liverpool before, that have played for other teams that have come to England to play. They have said like the league is not right on their body. Like the intense nature of the Premier League just gives them too many injuries. You know, and like maybe someone like a Naby Keita would have picked up these injuries even if he didn't play for Liverpool, just because of the tempo that. I think all the teams have to train quite hard in this league because the intensity of football matches.
Yeah.
So I think you have to train quite hard. I think Kai Havertz spoke about this when he went to Chelsea, when he said like when he played for Bayer Leverkusen, you could play at 60% of your level if you're playing a team well below you because you knew you'd beat them anyway. But for in England, if you don't play at 100% with high intensity, Fulham can beat you quite comfortably. So you probably all have to train with a higher pressure than their bodies might be able to be used to as well. And unfortunately for Liverpool, we seem to buy them players that can't quite cut it.
Could that be the coach? Could that just be the coach though? Because I don't see Man City get these kind of injuries, bro.
You know, with Man City, I mean, that is very true. And
style of play is different, completely different.
And their style of play is completely different, ain't it? It's about more deep ball, ain't it?
Yeah.
And it's a slower tempo. You know, I always say it when I do watch-alongs when I watch Man City. I always say, you know, Man City have slowed the game down. This is exactly where they like it. Yeah. You know, they like it at walking speed. This is how they build up. Yeah. So it's different. Liverpool play with more high intensity, more higher risk rewarding football. Yeah. So you've got to train like that as well. So
teams with the top pressing stats usually have more muscle injuries. If you look at the next team close to Liverpool in the league, it was Leeds, bro. You watch Leeds play, bro. Watch how many players are out all the time, bro. Every time you go to play for Leeds, Bamford's never fit, bro. Harrison, he lasts 3 games and comes off. That I don't like Luke Ayling anymore. He's always injured, bro.
Yeah,
like, it's that kind of style of football. I told people this already, bro. It's Klopp years, isn't it? And with money, and I don't mean a lot of money. I just mean with frivolous owners that are like do the normal kind of thing where we've got injuries. It's not going to get sorted by somebody. Klopp will be fine on it. The team will be fine. Without that, you're running on Klopp years, bro, and it adds on like 7 years onto your career, bro. I'm not joking, bro.
You have always
Mane tried to escape real quick, bro. Like
he's trying to save his hairline, bro.
In the COVID season, Mane was looking like he had a fake passport, bro. He was terrible. He was terrible, bro. And Salah was nearly getting away with it, and then AFCON came out of nowhere. Now on top of his Klopp years, he got AFCON to go with that, and he's like, "Nah, I'm taking care of myself, bro. This ain't happening." Virgil might be one of the most durable footballers there's been, bro. Like, it's what Entman said. He got took out, but before he got taken out, he played 92 games in a row, and since he come back, he just carried on playing.
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
True. That is true. Our players are dropping like contestant on Squid Game. I mean, look. Obviously, transfer news. Amrabat. So his price tag. Apparently, what the Liverpool Echo are saying today is that Florentino will demand 40 million euros in total, with 30 million guaranteed, alongside performance-related add-ons.
That's a good price.
The report adds that Tottenham tried to sign the 26-year-old in the summer, adding to Antonio Conte is a huge fan of the midfielder.
Conte got him, boy.
Mm.
Liverpool, apparently they're saying here as well, Liverpool are firm favourites to sign him.
According to John said that Amrabat, Gomez and Flingy, they said they're all signed up, and Bellingham said they're all signed up, bro. I don't know who John's source is, bro.
I think with Amrabat, when I look at the Amrabat deal, so I'm looking at Twitter right now, and is it Florian Plettenberg, who's quite a reliable journalist, actually. He's been chatting and saying it's Mattia, is it Mattario or something like that? Another journalist that all these journalists sort of broke some Liverpool deals before everyone else, and Yeah, they're basically saying like, so Liverpool fell in love with Amrabat during the World Cup, but they also spoke to him before the World Cup. Apparently, Jurgen Klopp met with him before the World Cup with his agent. They sent scouts out during the tournament. The reports are fantastic. Florentina are keen, but want 30 to 35 million, 40 tops with add-ons.
That's
Klopp
not bad,
wants
man.
him, and maybe he could even become Bellingham's midfield partner.
No, rough man
And
up in there.
Florian Plettenberg is agreeing with this on Twitter as well. He's
Just
saying
Naby
it's
swap him in it. A lot of money. Naby
so I saw him I've been looking at him in the World Cup. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've said I've seen him play for Fiorentina because I haven't. When it was when they first mentioned Amrabat, I remember the geezer. Was it who played for West Ham for a while?
It's Watford, isn't it?
Watford, that's it. And it weren't
It's his
the same
brother.
player. It's not the same player, is it?
It's his brother.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want that geezer. So it's like, but this is totally a different geezer, and like his brother. And I've been watching him for in this World Cup, and I'm like, oh my, he is the defensive midfielder of this World Cup. When they do the team of the World Cup, he is in the defensive midfield area. He's the best DM in this World Cup.
I can't lie. As soon as I see him play, I'm just like,
his energy is mad.
I'm just like, okay, Fab, you can rest now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you
his
just
energy is
slot him
mad.
quick.
And I watched him play against Spain and Portugal, right?
Roughing man up.
And Spain keep possession. If you think of Spain, are almost like an international version of Man City's sake, right? The way they keep the ball, move you around, tick a tackle over the pitch and stuff like that. And I saw him just bossing that midfield, you know, beating people up, getting the ball. Then against Portugal, he was outstanding.
Silky as well, isn't he?
He's going for 120 minutes in games and looking great. You know, energy levels are fantastic. He's good on the ball. He doesn't have to be brilliant. I've seen people say he's too basic on the ball, and this is my thing again.
I see him turn some man in the midfield.
What is so wrong with that in a way, even if he is? Because at the end of the day, he's a defensive midfielder. He's not meant to be there like getting the ball and making fucking 50 yards runs and passing it to a wide man. You know, his job is to break up play, be the destroyer in midfield, and then actually give it to the more talented players on the pitch who can do the stuff. That's his role.
Who was his first game against in the World Cup? Was it Croatia? It was Croatia, and it was in that group with Croatia, Belgium, and Canada.
Yeah, I think
whatever game that was, bro. They didn't before I heard any Liverpool talk, bro. The game kicked off, and this guy was on it within 30 seconds, bro. And I was like, "What is his problem, bro?" Then the commentators kept mentioning him. I'm like, just bullying people, running through, man. And then what I loved about him, bro. You saw this throughout the tournament. He'd make a tackle and celebrate to the crowd, bro. Like I'm like, bro, it's the 3rd minute of the game. And he's just like, nah, bro.
I'm telling you, when you love your job, you go into work in the morning and you really love your job. You just go in there, you high five everyone, and you go and sit at your desk and go, do you know, I love my job. Bro, that's what this guy does, man. I love beating people up in midfield.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to see. I love players who love playing in the position that's theirs, man. Like I told when me and you done a watch along, I think it was you'll have to remind me the name of the guy. I think it's he plays for Serbia. The big U at the back, the tall dude, and he gives him a P. He was just bullying, man, and celebrating every time, bro. It's like,
run through the back of people and good tackle, like tell himself, good tackle, good tackle. Are you getting calm down, bro? But that's the players I love, man.
I love it, man. Because we sometimes it's not anyone's fault as such, but we don't always have players that want to be in the position they're in. It's to fit where they're playing, so they kind of do the job and that. But they don't love it. You know what I mean? Whereas I think Hendo loves midfield, doesn't it? So that's why he gets stuck in. He loves it. You seen him yesterday for England, bro. He was running his ass off, bro. Like tracking man down. And
he wants to get stuck in. And I like that. I like that. And that's what we need. Look, the position we got in midfield that we have an issue with is with Fab. We've got no Fab replacement, Yeah. Right. And I think with Fabinho, the whole thing with Fabinho, since he joined Liverpool, if he fit, he plays.
Yeah.
And when you're playing Klopp style in a 4-3-3, remember you're playing 4-3-3 in the Liverpool style, the way Klopp wants to play. You've got to run, man. That's why when Thiago came out and said that Klopp showed me how to run, everyone laughed at him and went, "How can you be 29 years of age, a professional footballer, and not know how to run?" But what he meant by it is that in his career at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, he played in a double pivot. He didn't have to move around so much, right? For Liverpool, it's all about pressing. You know, if you're playing on the right or left hand side of the midfield three, you've got to cover your fullbacks. Then you've got to make sure you can go box to box at the same time and get around the pitch. That's what he meant by it.
Yeah.
And when I've looked at Amrabat, he's like, he can do that, man. Fab
he's a
can do that
presence.
well, but Fab's fucked.
Yeah.
And
He lost his presence. Fab.
and he's done. And like Amrabat coming in helps Fab as well. Fab you can go, right, Fab, you can sit a couple of games out now because Amrabat's going to play. There's games where you can go, you know what? We're going to play Amrabat and Fabinho together. And if you play Amrabat and Fabinho together and have a double pivot, you know what that does? That gives you more license to play that number 10 everyone wants. Further forward. So I think it's a great bit of business. He's only on 30 grand a week at Fiorentina. I've never seen more of a Liverpool transfer than this. It's everything.
Makes so much sense, innit?
Good age. He's 26. He's got all the ability in that midfield that Klopp wants. He's only 30 to 35 million, and he's only on 30 grand a week.
Yeah, that's the proper age as well. That is the age I was speaking about the other day.
It's a sensible bit of business.
That middle age is what we've been lacking for a bit, man. We got the higher end of the 31s, and then we got the 18s and the 19s, but there's no middle. And that's you know what I mean? The middle is Diaz and Jota, and then everyone else around them is a little bit older, a little bit younger. But
you don't have the middle age.
This is a deal I think Liverpool need to do. Apparently, I was just reading that his brother wants him to go to PSG, but that's because he wants the money, don't he? Brother's like, I can't make.
I'm gonna lie, if PSG go in from though, he will go there.
Yeah, I don't see him as a PSG midfield. I'm looking at PSG's midfield right now. I just don't think he.
They've got plenty of midfielders.
Yeah,
man.
don't make
chill out, bro.
I think them man are spiteful though. You know, I'm not lying, bro. They're toxic, bro. They just see like some other club wants to buy someone. They're like, we'll just buy him.
Yeah, we've got the money. We'll just buy it. And then
They
show it off.
remind me of Man United back in the day.
Yeah, man, you're horrible for that.
You know when like players want it, like they do like a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Tottenham or after somebody, they'd be like, let's just go and buy him.
Chelsea turned into that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Chelsea did that.
Just bought him without any real
plan.
plan. So there's another player that Liverpool apparently on, and it's Enzo Fernandez. Apparently, I'll say this for a quote. There's a pre-agreement. I don't know what the pre-agreement is. I don't know if it's a pre-agreement to a meeting to just talk to him.
Where did that pre-agreement thing come from?
I have no idea. I'm reading it now. So Liverpool have made contact with Benfica regarding Enzo Fernandez. There are reports that the two parties have entered a pre-agreement, according to the record. Despite signing for Benfica just 5 months ago, the 21-year-old already looks set to make the next step in his career. Several of Europe's top sides have been monitoring the midfield's development in Portugal, where the Reds set to battle the likes of Real Madrid for his signature. Well, if it comes to
made an agreement behind his back while he was playing at the World Cup.
Yeah, if it comes to a battle with Real Madrid, we ain't winning. Jurgen Klopp's side dealt with Benfica recently as the summer when signing Darwin Núñez, and the Reds have said to have initiated contact over the move for the young Argentinian. Speculative reports in Spain have even touted a pre-agreement. Fernandez is under contract with Portuguese side until 2027 and will likely command a fee higher than Núñez's 64 million. So what are we thinking on Enzo, guys?
I don't know. It's a weird one because I think he's
had a good World Cup. I think it's been poor.
My rating on Enzo is prior to the World Cup, even before he went to Benfica, and I thought he was really good, man. And I think there was that thing at the time where they asked him about European clubs before he got to Benfica, and he said he would love to play for Liverpool. And then we didn't get him, and he was I can't remember. He went to Benfica for. He won a lot of money, bro. And then I kind of didn't see much of him from then. And then now there's this World Cup, and like I said to you earlier, because I said Argentina to me ain't been very good at all. So he's had like okay games. One game he was good. Him and I thought Alvarez was probably the better one in the game, but he's a good player. He's a really good player, man. I just don't know about all the truth behind it and stuff like that. But he's a good age again. Seems a bit of ahead of schedule in terms of the players that we've got, the younger players, which is a good thing to have because I don't want to. It's nice to build for the future and all that business, but we can't have too many players that are in that position because then when we get to experience big experience games and stuff and we have injuries as we do, then we'll have just this youth midfield and it's no experience. So
yeah, I agree.
I'll definitely take him. I can't lie. I think he's a baller, but like I said, it's not based on the World Cup. It's everything before that. I don't think he's.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I only seen him in the World Cup. I've heard people chatting about him and stuff like that. Watch his kid. Yeah, he's got a good goal, but apart from that, he's had a very poor World Cup for me. for a player that's apparently going to be asked for 100 million. Now, obviously, there's another £100 million midfielders that Liverpool are on about, and Jude Bellingham. So, do we all think the Jude Bellingham deal's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No. Ooh, Baz, why no? I'll go with you first.
There's just too much hype over it. I just don't think it's going to happen. You know, a lot of clubs at the moment, they're keeping quiet. Real Madrid said they're not after him. Yeah. Man City are not making too much noise about him. These guys, I mean, like, for example, Man City, I believe Man City got a better chance than anyone else with him. Yes, I get the ties, family, Liverpool related.
Don't fall for that. That's that. People keep overhyping that way too much.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know we're interested in him. Do I see it happening in January? No.
Oh, it's not happening in January. I don't think it's going to happen in January.
Okay. So I thought you meant in January.
No, in the summer. Like,
I think in the summer it's coming.
Yeah. Well, look, the thing is, all right. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear it. Apologize. Yeah. The thing is, I was having like a lot of discussions with like a lot of Chelsea and Arsenal fans. Yeah. An Arsenal fan in particular was saying that Liverpool don't have a habit of breaking transfer records. They've broken transfer records so many times. Do you know what I mean?
We broke transfer records for players before.
Yeah.
Liverpool were really any good in the Premier League. Does anyone remember Phil Babb?
Phil Babb, John Scales. John Scales
was Carroll was a record breaker as well.
Yeah.
And Collymore.
And then
John Barnes.
And then Alisson and Van Dijk broke world records.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what they were watching, but I think for the right player, Liverpool would definitely, break the transfer record. Potentially.
I think the comments right as well. I do think because there's been so much talk. Look, there's not really been any talk from Liverpool. It's the fans. Now, if this deal don't happen, us as fans, we're going to get so in the neck because it's going to look terrible. Like we did all the talk, we did all the work. You know, it's like you've been chatting up a bird all year. You put in the graft, and then some pretty boy just comes along and just buys her. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. And look, I think with Bellingham, I look at it and think everyone's going on about we ain't spending 120 million on a midfielder. What everyone's forgetting, there's no release clause. What are Liverpool best at doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Negotiating deals on players.
They ain't going to be upfront money, bro.
No, I think we will get him. Just obviously, just not in January, mate. Summer will definitely be in.
Summer will be.
We might pre-agree it somewhere in January or something like that. Maybe offer like a 90 million initially, and then add-ons. It's not impossible.
Agreed.
So I could see it happening.
Yeah, from what I know of him as well, I can't see like because other fans think it's going to be January. From what I know of how he is, he would want to continue with Dortmund in the Champions League and see how far I can get them. I ain't going to just leave him in the lurch in January when they.
I think you might be thinking about telling them, look,
he's already here.
I want to go in the summer. But
Come on.
I'm going to stay with you. But let's talk to Liverpool because if you look at what I've been reading online by there's only a few journalists I trust online. There's a couple of Liverpool-based journalists who seem to get it right. We all know who they are. And there's a couple of foreign ones that seem to break good, like the news, and get it right. I mean, like, is it Christian Falk and Plittenberg? I've been listening to them two, and they do a podcast. And I was listening to their podcast. They were talking about it, and then what they're basically saying is nothing done or signed or no agreement in place or anything like that. But Liverpool are the front runners, and Liverpool have met with Jude. Klopp's had a conversation with Jude, and they've spoke to his family. And because of his age, the family is a very important thing. Because of his age, they want to make sure it's right for him. And what they're saying is that the family want the Liverpool deal. That's the one they want because they think at Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, it would thrive the most. Because at Man City, he might get swallowed up a little bit with the quality of Man City. And stuff like that they have in that team, he might get swallowed up a little bit. Because I don't see where Foden fits in at City. Bellingham, sorry. I don't know where he fits in at City.
No.
With the way Bellingham is, he's not the kind of midfielder Pep wants. Pep wants a DM, and then he wants sort of like you know, Bernardo Silva's. We were talking about players out of position earlier. Bernardo Silva turned into a winger, into a central midfielder.
Yeah.
You know, he wants that kind of a Kevin De Bruyne type, and that's not what.
This is the
Bellingham
thing. Sorry, Jamie. This is the thing that I was going to say, that at some point, though, they're going to need to look at replacing a Kevin De Bruyne now. He's only 19 now, so he's got
Enzo Fernandez maybe might be the player they're looking at, or João Felix. João Felix says he wants to leave in January, don't he? So apparently Arsenal fans are very,
missing, bro. Simeone.
Arsenal fans are very, very excited because they think they're just getting him with ease.
Big for them if they get him, man.
I mean, if they get him, it is big for them, and it does make them better. But I'm not a big fan of João Felix. I don't rate him that much. But
is it because I bet you rated him before, before Simeone.
I never heard of him before he went to Atletico Madrid.
No, he was good.
Fair
He
enough.
was good. He was very, very techy.
The last 2 seasons could have put you off João Felix because he looks depressed when he plays football, bro.
And then he looks depressed when he plays for Portugal.
He's horrible to watch, bro.
And then at Portugal, I can say he only had a good game against Switzerland, and that was such an open game; it suited his style. And for the rest of this World Cup, I think he's been atrocious. And
he's a Rottweiler on a leash at Atletico Madrid.
You know what João Felix, like, and everyone says about the Atletico Madrid stuff, right? Oh, it's because he's Atletico Madrid and Simeone stopping him playing. Well, I saw Griezmann light it up at Atletico Madrid and Simeone. I saw Luis Suarez actually become top goal scorer in Spain playing for the Simeone's Atletico Madrid team.
Won the league as well.
Yeah, so how much can we say it's all the manager? Maybe the players just... It's what we were discussing earlier. Everyone talking about players as world-class players too early. Maybe he's just one of these very talented footballers who's just extremely good.
I think if he was 25 and went to Atletico and Simeone done to him what he's done to him now, he'd be fine. But I think he was so young. And
you got to make the team about him, though.
His style of play, the way he was playing before he got there, he was like zapped out of him straight away. And then it's the mentality thing to try and deal with it, which is still young to deal with it, isn't it? Luckily for him, even leaving Atletico, he's still young. And he's going to need a manager who's going to give him loads of confidence. And once he gets that, he'll be a different kind of player again. Because for him, he would want to express himself. You know, like Anthony gets to express himself and that just before he went to Ajax and that. And, you know, he comes to England and everyone's like, why is Anthony doing stuff? I'm like, bro, just let the man have fun in it. Well, I don't care, bro.
I get what you're saying now. I think
because people hate vibes in football now, and everyone wants to watch this dead, depressing football, bro. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I know it's funny, he plays for Man U, so he does a skill and everyone goes crazy about it. But I'm just like, bro, I want to see football at some point, bro. I don't want this like.
Well, that's in general now, though. I think all the teams, all the big coaches in football are coaching in a way now that results are so important.
Coaching systems.
It's coaching systems. So they're getting rid of all the excitement in football because it's so... Because there's so much money in football now, winning has come so big.
Yeah, it's facts.
You know, and coaches are scared to, like, almost too scared to unleash players and let them do what they want.
Kids looking up to now, bro. I can't imagine if I was a little kid now going to the shop and like, Mom, I want to buy the blah blah football boots. What football boots, bro? I wanted to buy football boots before because the man were doing techers in it, bro. Now I want to buy these defensive midfielder boots where they pass it sideways.
Do you remember
Declan Rice 9s? I'm trying to get the Declan Rice 9s, bro.
Do you remember Patrick? Do you remember them Patrick boots? Do you remember them Patrick boots? That Brian Laudrup used to wear, and he wore them at Rangers. I was like, I want them, man. You don't get things like that no more. Yeah, I mean, look, this World Cup, the end of Suarez, the end of Messi, the end of Ronaldo, the end of Lewandowski. Yeah, we're seeing greats. Modric is bowing out probably. We're seeing greats that are not going to play again at a major tournament internationally. And what's coming through? You know, Neymar's 30. He's almost at the end now. What's coming through? Richarlison.
So I have a theory there, Jamie. I've got a theory. I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day. His kid as well is in an academy. So we was talking, and I was saying to him, bro, like, I've noticed that every coach throughout the whole, like, in terms of England, they're all training the same football players. Like, everyone is just training become the same. Like, there's no player like, oh, he's a specialist in this position or he's a specialist in that position. Like, every kid is training to become some sort of winger, attacking midfielder. And I'm like, I don't see how all of these kids are gonna get into in any team. Like because at the same time you're competing against kids in England, but you're competing against kids abroad as well.
Yeah.
So if you think you're 10, there's probably like or 9. There's a kid that's 8 that's probably better than you
Yep.
in Argentina. That they'll be like, well, we'll just get him in because he's already ready made. And so we'll keep you, but we're gonna sell you to make a profit and make some money from it. So there's no more specialists, and that's why football in the next 10 years is gonna be so rubbish, bro. Because it's always gonna be system, and any player that has any sort of substance to them, they're gonna come into a team, and then they'll be like, the manager will be like, nah, you did too many step overs, bro. Nah, you're on the bench. If you come in, you have to come in and be able to play within that system. So if you're a player that can play within the system already now,
Yep.
it's going to be easy when you get older because you're there. The manager's going to look at you like, right, you can play here and here. Okay, nah, he's going in. And the guy's on the bench like, I'm a better footballer than he is. But the coach is like, nah, but he's better for my system.
That's why managers put themselves in a headlock nowadays, bro. That's why Southgate left Maddison and Grealish on the bench, bro, when we needed to go.
Yeah.
That's what they expressed themselves. We're not playing them. All right.
Do you know what I am glad about? You know what I am glad about England going out of the World Cup because we, as Liverpool fans, we were told that Trent would cost them the World Cup, and he didn't see minutes. Yeah. Well,
what does it do for Trent's mentality, bro? That he gets taken to the World Cup, and it felt like he got taken because everyone was arguing about it, and a couple of people got injured. Then he gets there and he doesn't get 1 minute on the pitch. When you clearly look at that game and you're like, Trent can change this game by one cross, bro.
Yeah.
It might not
That's
happen.
what the argument was yesterday.
Yeah, it might not happen, but he definitely can.
Yeah,
and then he doesn't get played, bro. So everyone's expecting this thing where it's like, it's great that he stayed fit and he's trained fine. He's gonna have a week and then he'll come join the team and nothing's happened to him, bro. Everyone's forgetting his mentality before he left, bro. He didn't look too happy then. So I don't know if he's gonna be better now. He might put a battery in his back and say, "F it, I'll get into the next England squad when Southgate ain't there," or he's like, "Yo, I'm really that good, bro. Like, man took me there and I didn't even get on the pitch, bro. That's crazy."
Exactly. And do you know what? You know what he's got? Like,
he'll be 28 when the next World Cup comes.
Yeah.
How mad's that?
It's
Crazy.
just all this just shows that what annoys me about it, right? When all the Trent things started, and look, if everyone the fullbacks are fit, I don't think Trent would have gone, right?
Facts.
And
Facts.
he's talking about it like he literally made it a thing that Trent might cost me. I can't trust him. Yeah,
it's horrible.
Right back. Yeah, I'm sorry. How successful England? How successful are we since 1966?
The question is Trent more successful than England?
Are we celebrating semi-finals now? Is that what
That's
we're
true.
doing?
That's
Are we
true.
celebrating
Trent's more
semi-finals
successful than
now?
England, bro. It's a fact.
It's fucking show.
So who are you talking to, Gareth? Who are you talking to, really?
Yeah, Trent. I mean, Jurgen Klopp, one of the best managers, coaches in world football, trusts Trent so much that he's won a Champions League and the Premier League. The two biggest things you can win in club football.
Bruv.
He's won every fucking trophy for Liverpool Football Club.
Of all the people to drop them lines, bruv, Southgate, bruv. I mean, if anyone knows what it's like costing man tournaments, he should know that. So why is he? I don't even know where that comes from, bro.
It's just play like, and everyone's going, oh, it's tournament football. It's totally different. It's World Cup football. It's totally different. I'm sorry. What is Trippier actually better than Trent at? Is Trippier really that much better defensively than Trent?
No,
he's not.
Not at all.
The only one I'd say I'm okay with is Carl Walker.
But that's based on speed, bro. That ain't because he's good at
then
defending.
Mbappe burned him.
People are not understanding. Carl Walker's getting on as well, bro. So we're gonna have to rely upon Trent at one point.
Yeah. Exactly. And
bro,
look,
these men are in their 30s.
Also, do you know out of all of this, how many interviews do footballers do before matches and tournaments and go, especially a defender, and go, question your defensive ability, like they do to Trent?
Bro.
It's mad. Before a World Cup, he's sitting down, doing the media. Southgate put him in front of the camera, made him do the media before the World Cup, and all they could ask him is like, "How good do you think you are defensively? How good do you think you are defensively?"
Trust me, the step man.
You got a problem defensively.
Crazy.
Him and Reece James, for me, Trent and Reece James should be the two right backs going forward in the world for England in the future, rotating who's a better right back out of the two of them. Let Trent and Reece James fight it out. No one else should be anywhere near these two for me. No one. And you say Carl Walker's come the end of his day. As Savage said about 6 months ago, his legs are gone and everyone came for him. And Savage is
Yeah,
right.
losing 5 games a
Yeah.
season, man.
Yeah, his legs are going. His hips and knees are fucked. You know, Trippier is boring as shit. You know, he does nothing.
Bro.
You know, so in theory, you're looking at Trent and Reece James are England's future. And when Roberto Carlos comes out and says, if Trent was Brazilian, he'd play.
And Cafu.
And Cafu. And when they said, everyone said the same about me and Cafu when we were Trent's age, that we weren't good defensively. But then look at their careers. Just
That's fact. I literally said that when they done the World 11 the other day. I was like, listen, Roberto Carlos, bro, he was better attacking in it because I ended up picking Ashley Cole. But like he was better attacking. But who cares, bro? No one ain't looking back on Carlos and thinking he was dead.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
He could run back as well. He
He can run back, exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, you see with this Trent thing that he can't defend. And I remember it was last season, and then he broke down. And I know we don't want to talk about the GA stuff here because it annoyed me so much. Yeah, I wanted to go and find out, bro. When I saw the comparison between Carl Walker, Reece James, Trent, and Trippier, and Trent was clear on everything. No, he was clear on everything.
Yeah, he was on all of them.
And I was like,
even with interceptions and tackles, it was.
But have you noticed you're not allowed to use that even part
and
of
one-on-ones
when it comes to it? When it comes to an argument, everyone says Trent can't defend, right? And then you bring out them stats, yeah? I've seen this on channels, by the way, on massive channels.
Right.
And you bring out that stat, they go, well, stats don't tell the whole game. You can't use that. But then they're going to talk about stats for goal scorers. So you can't have it. It is an agenda. There is a clear agenda. And when the media make things of it, you know, it irritates me. Gareth Southgate, I think, in a way, bullied Trent. I think it's quite bullyish what he did. I'll go and say right now. When you know you're not going to play a guy, right, and you make it public that you don't trust him, and then you put him in front of the media before a World Cup to let him get bombarded by them questions and then not play him, I think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, right? And same with Maddison. You've got England's most creative midfielder, and he doesn't touch pitch.
Bro, because
and you play Mason Mount, and you play Mason Mount.
You know what it is as well, though, Jamie, right? It's this whole thing about this stupid Harry Kane guy wanting to become a fucking attacking midfielder.
He takes up all
we have a striker that is playing in the number 10. I do not understand this, bro. Bro, stick to what you're good at and put an attacking midfielder to create chances. This is why we don't, as England, we're going to beat up the small teams because they're not going to really give up. I'm telling you, if we would have drawn Morocco or not France, Morocco would have probably scored 2 or 3 goals against us, bro. They would have tore us up because defensively and as a team, they would have just bullied us all over the pitch. France just went, we'll just tit for tat, man. We'll just sit in and let you guys think you're good, and then we'll just hit you with goals when we need to. And then, they wind me up, man. I can't see what Carl Walker did and Trippier did this whole World Cup, and then people are telling me that they're great or they're good.
Well, listen, we had that one game where if he was going to play Trent, if you really thought he was going to be a problem, we were like, the one game England were terrible in this World Cup was the USA game, bro. It was ass, bro. It was nothing was happening all game, bro. Why don't you just put him on the pitch, bro? Let him show you that he can't do anything, can it? Don't just make up this thing in your head that he can't do anything, bro. It's not true, bro. Anyone with eyes who's watched football over the last few years, and it's sad to see because when he done that TalkSport, that press conference thing, I'm like, first of all, don't tell me they've got Trent out here to ask him stupid questions because then finally he answers it and he kind of says in it what everyone's been thinking. It's like people just look for stuff in games, and I'm like, we know that, but Trent shouldn't be saying that, and he shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? Because now everyone knows that it bothers him. Before it was all like, wonder if it bothers him and that. Now he comes out and he says, listen, it seems like people are just looking for stuff in games. And as Liverpool fans, we should know this, but half of our fan base does it as well. Bruv, there's the televised games where all the other fan bases are watching the big games. They ain't watching Liverpool versus Leeds and Liverpool versus Southampton. They're watching Liverpool versus Tottenham, Man U, all this and that. He doesn't really make big mistakes in them games, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's happened once or twice. These men ain't watching us at 3 o'clock where we have to find a stream. So where the watching Trent gets on up?
Well, they're not.
Where's it happening, bro?
That people would say something.
Well, someone will just throw something on Twitter, innit?
I've watched a weekend of football before. That was all live, yeah. And I think Chelsea and Liverpool playing at the time, yeah. Trent had a decent game, right? And we won the game, yeah. And I think it was the game Chelsea lost, right? And Reece made some mistakes at the back,
Love
yeah,
that.
right.
Love
And Reece
that,
made
Jamie.
some mistakes at the back, and the whole media thing was that Trent was a bit exposed at right back today, but we won the game, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going at Trent at right back. They're really exposing him now. It's getting embarrassing. But then I was like, you go all talk about the Chelsea game where Reece James like had a disaster class.
Jamie, in that same game,
agenda is so driven now.
in that same game, Jamie, bro, in that same game, because I watched that game and I deliberately turned the Chelsea game because I wanted to watch it because he was winding me up. And I sat and watched the game, and I remember the commentator saying, Reece James has been amazing today. And I was like, are you watching the same game I'm watching? Because I've seen this guy lose the ball countless times and people are running past him like he does. And remind me, he's playing in a back five.
Yeah. He's always out of position, man.
And I was like, he's had a great game today. What?
Yeah, he plays in the back five where he plays striker half the time. And then when they go to a goal conceded, yeah, and they click on the frame.
He's not in the frame.
He's nowhere in the frame where he should be. And then no one says anything and they blame everyone else. But if that was a Liverpool game with the same frame, they'd be like, where's Trent? Where's Trent?
Yeah, before Liverpool matches though, when they say it's the pundits as well, because before Liverpool match, when they're talking about like where the game could be won and lost, and when this could be like, they always without fail they're like, we know Liverpool are a bit weak down the right. You know what I mean? We know that other teams are looking to get around the right side because they're a bit weaker there. I'm like, bro,
Savage, was it me? Well, was we talking? I can't remember who I was having a conversation with. Where I was like, the teams don't even have to do their own research no more. The pundits do that for him. So they just literally go, "Oh, is that where Liverpool weak? Oh, yeah, we'll just run with that today. Are they're weak down that right side? Yeah, we'll just run with that today." Because before, bro, I was even playing FIFA the other day with my boy here. I'm playing my season mode, and then. Bro, it felt like the teams were attacking me down the right. I was like, bro, is this now leaked into FIFA, bro? Why are these guys just attacking me?
You know, it irritates me as well. The way they go on about Reece James, who I think is a fabulous footballer, by the way, right? But the way they go on about Reece James, he's like, they go on like he's England's Maldini. It's embarrassing. And they go,
he's actually not played well for England.
And like, it's Paul Merson for the World Cup, like Edward says. Paul Merson for the World Cup said England can't win the World Cup without Reece James. I'm like, what the fuck is going?
It's easy stat to say when we won it in '66, bro.
I mean, yeah. So you telling me, Mercer, the England team you played in was that shit? You know, like it. I don't know what the world's coming to. Like the agenda of players is ridiculous. I think Chelsea can see goals on their right hand side all the time. By the way,
hey man, luckily for Trent, bro, he's won everything already, isn't it? So
yeah,
imagine if he didn't.
The man's won the Premier League. The man's won the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the World Club Championships. He's not had a bad career, has he?
No.
I mean, come on. And apparently
he's still got plenty of years to go on.
And he apparently will cost England in the future. But Jurgen Klopp plays him at right back.
Bro, he even leaked into our. Do you know what it is as well, Jamie? I was saying that it's even leaked into our fan base because even our fan base now running with every narrative everyone else is coming with. And it never used to happen. We used to like back our players, even though we know their shit. No matter what, you could never turn to a Liverpool fan and say, "Oh, that player shit." We were like, "What are you talking about?" We'll back the play, even though now, as soon as someone says, "Oh, that player is rubbish," it's like we turn into the other fans now. We're like, "Yeah, you're right." You know, it's right. I'm like, nah, man, we've lost that, and that's the reason why I supported Liverpool because the fan base was so strong. Like we would always protect our team as a family, as a unit. Yeah. And it's like we just had some Decepticons that's leaked in now. And
then turned into Arsenal, isn't
it? And this is also true what Diogo says here. They cherry pick their stats. That is so true. When they want to prove something, when they want to prove a point and show that they're right, they do cherry check. They do.
Of course, bro. The same mad stuff. They made the same mad stuff anyway. Like, Leeds have never beat this team since 1952. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. They ain't been in the Prem together.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also when people go, it's like when people go like, oh, you can't put Virgil as one of the greatest centre backs in Premier League history because he's only been playing for Liverpool for a few years. Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but they still put Jaap Stam in there who's only at Man United for 2.5 seasons. You know what I mean?
Cantona weren't there very long either.
This is the agenda. But they all forget he was at Southampton for 3 years or whatever he was.
Yeah.
He's been in England for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
And he was actually really good at Southampton. He was like really good. And the year he had when, let's face it, even Messi admitted he should have won the Ballon d'Or, right? That year. it's the greatest year I've ever seen a centre back have. I've never seen a centre back be good for that whole calendar year as Virgil was that year. And for that alone, you can easily put him in there. Why not? Why does longevity matter? What if your longevity, you're there forever, but you're shit? Was John Terry better than Carvalho?
Exactly. And longevity can become deceptive as well, because if you're there for 20 years and for
You just get used to them, don't you?
You get to
used
year
them.
14 and then the last 6 years are terrible.
Yeah.
They'll just remember the 14 and like, oh nah, he was doing matter, it's not fair. What do you mean, bro? You have to have some kind of consistency. It's a bit mad how to do that, to be honest, but yeah, man. I think with our fan base though, I think Ensman's right, but we need to like, I think for the ones who are gonna say stuff through their tweets or people like us who are gonna be on video, man, you need to have some balls about you, man. Everyone's in this weird like little, I don't want to say it because the world's gonna be soft now, but everyone seems to just scared of getting clipped up. So they just have to say the right thing. I couldn't give a damn, bro. If I say something and it changed, my mind's changed after, I'll say the person changed my mind. I didn't used to like Rodri from Man City. I thought he weren't very good. He's good.
It's standard, isn't it? That's how it is.
Carried on watching him. He got better. But when I said it, I still don't think I was wrong at the time. He's just got better, bro. Which happens with a lot of people. We might get someone who's 18 who comes into a squad. You might say, I don't think he's ready for Liverpool. Might not be good. Then he turns 19 and everyone's like, oh, see, I told you that you said, well, yeah, he's had a birthday since, you prick. He's growing up a little bit. What do you want me to do about it? But everyone's so scared. So it's like, they'll see, okay, what percentage are running with the narrative? 70% on this side. I'll jump on this side so I can be a part of it. It's terrible, bro. It's not really the way to do stuff, innit? Like, have an opinion, man. No one stands for anything anymore, bro.
Same opinions.
Michael's comment here as well. Reece James conceded 2 penalties and 3 own goals in the last 9 months, known as a thing. And Reece James got absolutely ruined at fullback in the 4-0 loss to Hungary, but no one said a damn thing.
You kept giving penalties away, bro.
Yeah, so true.
If Bergkamp was playing now, bro, he'd get murdered. They'll be like, yo, we stacked.
Jamie, did you agree we need to get Southgate out? If we had a better manager, we would have won a World or Euros or a World Cup. Yeah. I mean, Southgate's too defensively minded. That England squad, you look at England squad and the talents in that, yeah? I've been saying it today. I've heard Talk Sport all day wank Gareth Southgate off, right? All day, right?
I've unfollowed him.
In this World Cup for beating Iran, Wales and Senegal. I'm sorry.
I've unfollowed them, Jamie. I've unfollowed them.
Oh, man. It's just, I saw it today, man. We beat Wales, Iran and Senegal. Yeah, well done.
Listen, second place plaudits only matter while the thing is still going on. Once it's over, it don't matter anymore. Just like Liverpool. I don't get this. Bro, the world is full of losers, bro. The second place plaudits only matter while it's going on. If you're in a 38-game Premier League and you're doing amazing at second place, great. It is an amazing thing. But at the end of the day, you ain't on that celebration parade, bruv. You got to go home like the rest of the other 19 teams, bruv. Yeah, I mean, so I don't understand why these people keep hanging on to this bullshit. It's like if we had got past France and then we got knocked out in the semi-final or something, we had to play for third place. Bro, I'll watch the match for content, bruv. You think I care about third place World Cup trophies, bro? Medals and that. Dead, bruv. But people, man, people are wusses, bro.
And if you look at England's team, what would you say the best players in England's team are? Would you say it's more the attacking midfielders and forwards? Yeah? So you build a team around that, wouldn't you? All right? Yeah. Go with your strengths. That's what you're meant to do. Go with your strengths. What do we do? Build a team around.
No, do you know what it is? Gareth Southgate is that guy, the typical guy that lets the media pick the team. So if it goes wrong, you'll be like, well, everyone agreed upon that team.
That's why
no balls, man.
That's why
I actually think England failed. I think this is a massive failure.
Yeah, it's a massive failure, bro. Look at all the countries that are out. Yeah. Look at all the made countries that are out, and people are telling me this is a great thing.
And we had this French team. Don't get this wrong, right? I think we had this French team in the palm of our hand a little bit. But we were poor.
Henderson said it.
We waited too long, man. We waited too long to make subs. It was like, why are we going with Foden still?
Exactly.
Great little player, don't get me wrong, but doing nothing.
We went with Foden because when we played against whoever, Wales or USA, and he didn't play, the whole country started crying, and then Southgate got scared and put him in. And meanwhile, Rashford come on and scored 2 goals and shown that he can do something, bro.
Why take players you're not going to use?
It's crazy.
He literally took Maddison because of the outcry from the public. Yeah. He did it as a pleasing job to have all the.
He doesn't even want Grealish in our squad. He never has. He does everything in his power not to play Grealish, bro. How dare you put man on for 1 minute and 26 seconds, bro? In the 98th minute, are you taking the piss, bro?
That's an insult on him.
Play with 10 man. What are you doing? You got put Connor Cody on then. This district, bro.
Look at Gareth Southgate's
real,
record.
bro.
Look at Gareth Southgate as an international manager. Yeah, we got to the semi-final to the last World Cup. Yeah, we beat people like Panama, Tunisia. Yeah, a really terrible Colombia side that we had to beat on penalties. Yeah. Then we played one decent side in Croatia and got humiliated. Look at the Euros. We played no one in the Euros. Easy all the way through.
At home, by the way, as well.
Yeah, at home. And everyone will say, oh, Germany. We played Germany. Germany are trash. They haven't got out of the group in the last two World Cups. The last two World Cups and got out of the group to trash. So we beat them.
We didn't even deserve to beat them.
In the final, on our own pitch, on our own turf, in our own national stadium, went 1-0 up and lost.
Just remember, we got to that final because we beat Denmark with a penalty.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty.
Man put laser in Schmeichel's eyes and that, bruv. It wasn't a penalty to start with. We were struggling. We get to the final. We lose that. Then man just abused the players anyway, bro. It's terrible, bro. It's terrible.
And then all I see after the game is, oh, we lost that game because of the ref. What are you on about? The ref gave us 2 penalties.
Yes,
what are you on about? The ref gave us 2 penalties. The ref didn't miss the second one. And everyone's going on about the foul. Yeah, it was a foul. But it wasn't a penalty. It was outside.
But he was a shit ref, though, to be fair.
It was a shit ref. The ref was terrible.
Listen,
he's a terrible
Harry
ref,
Kane he's basically, you know what we've been calling for? Harry Kane is a diver, bro. And people only seen it. He was trying to throw himself into situations to allow people to foul him. And what happened was the ref was like, no, I'm not having none of that. Like, don't get me wrong, he did foul him, but the exaggeration on he was like, nah, man, I ain't giving you that.
But it wasn't a foul, yeah. But the thing, though, everyone's screaming it's a penalty. I was screaming it's a penalty when I watched along.
Yeah.
So I watched it back and it was like, actually, it looked like it was just outside the box.
Yeah, it's outside the box.
The only foul the only foul I had a proper problem with was the one on Saka, bro.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah.
Because it was a clear foul. But apart from that, bro, like we didn't lose because of that. Because
clearly,
it
wasn't like we were so nicey.
We got a penalty. We had the chance.
You know what I mean?
We had a chance to bring it back, and we didn't, bro. And
it's
a shame for Harry Kane. You know what I mean? I don't need to be a dickhead about it, but at the same time, I keep telling man, bro. He's giving me end of the career Rooney vibes, bro, where they wouldn't take him out of the England squad, and we kept playing terrible.
He does too much.
Rooney's way better than him, and
he does too much.
We know big match player. He is not, bro. He's only big when it comes to Arsenal, bro. I keep telling man this, bro. It can seem like he's bigger because all the goals are penalties. I said on the watch along yesterday, it's horrible to watch England matches when it comes to this because the only way I see is we're gonna get a goal from a corner, a penalty, or we're gonna score a free kick. I never envision England scoring any other kind of goal in a big game. It never happens, bro. It's always a penalty. Wayne Rooney, Iceland, penalty. Like, you know what I mean? And the last one when we lost to Croatia in 2018, man, I'm forgetting that like Harry Kane had a chance to tap it to Sterling. Bruv,
to kill the game off, bro. To kill the game off.
Hit the post, and then the game finishes yesterday. Man's balling on the floor. Pickford has to save him and tell the cameraman to piss off and that. And then my captain has to come out and talk while he walked down the tunnel.
Yeah, why did Jordan Henderson do all the?
Because he's the captain of England, bro.
This is
I was in the middle of the games. We're speaking to Zabiri and he was checking the stats and that. And I said, he was like, "Oh, Carl Walker's stats are the best in the game." And I was like, "But I'm watching the game though." And he's like, "Nah," but I said, "But I'm watching Henderson run from defense and trying to press their defense." So he's running from our defense and he ran through the whole team to press. And then I heard that man was saying that Henderson was the shit one. I'm like, why are you not watching, bro? This is crazy, bro. This kid was pointing he played like I need to win the World Cup. Bellingham was playing like he needs to win the World Cup. When it finished and I asked Bellingham, he said, "Listen, I need one of those trophies." That's what he said. "I'll be back. I need one of those." This man's walking down the tunnel crying and that, bro. Go back to CB, you pussy old, bro. I've had enough of Harry Kane, bro. Leave me alone, bro.
You know,
you ain't better than Matt Letizia, bro. I said it. Allow me.
I think Raging Potts put 18 of in Kane's goals in his 53 penalties. I
think 22 of Rooney's are.
I think I read a stat somewhere that it's actually 20 of his 53 are penalties. And look, Harry Kane, as I keep saying, is a very, very good footballer, man. He's a very good footballer. But for England, I think for England, England would be better if Harry Kane didn't play.
Put him on the bench,
Long
man.
time, bro.
Because Harry Kane, John, you're right, man. Harry Kane comes too deep. Harry Kane comes too deep. And the problem when he comes deep, the way he played yesterday, is that he takes up Jude Bellingham's space in midfield.
Listen, Jamie, I saw him come and pass a ball back to the left back.
I know, it's just...
And I'm like, how? What? You're the striker, bro. Why are
You
you
want to know
there?
the truth, bro? Just go watch my son's reaction to Harry Kane yesterday, bro. Because I had to kick him off stream at one point. At the end, I was like, just get off the screen, bro. He was screwing, bro. Because at one point, he's like, why is Harry Kane at left back? I said, I don't know, son. I don't know why he's doing that, bro. You don't need him here to take up Declan Rice's spot, bro. Just leave him alone, bro. Yeah, me. And then we look up. He's not fast enough to catch with the break. So when we go on a counter-attack, he's behind everyone, even though he's the number 9. We don't have no one to cross the ball into because he's not in the box. Callum Wilson's just on the bench with a blanket on his kneecaps because what? I ain't coming on the pitch. It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy, bro. Like, this is the one where there is actually no excuse on it. There is actually no excuse for this one at all, bro. Our team's good enough. We didn't do the thing.
More than good enough.
Yeah.
More than good enough.
There's no excuse to get to, like, I think Harry Kane scored the penalty in like the 58th minute or something like that. Bro, I was like, okay, take Foden off now. Let's put Grealish on. Because you know that if Grealish don't do anything, at least we'll get you a penalty or something.
Yeah,
Madness, bro.
he'll just win you free kicks and
He will.
and take up positions where you know for a fact he's going to drag players into
100%.
areas.
Grealish and
then
Rashford
they'll
was
create
a sub to
space.
make, bro.
Bro, I was saying it to my boy. I was like, bro, I want to see Rashford on the pitch right now. This is the
100%.
moment to bring him on. And I said I would have started. I don't know if you watched the thing I did with Rog, yeah, and I showed who I would have started.
Yeah.
And it was Rashford and Saka I started.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, nah, I would have started Foden. Why is Foden not getting in? I'm like, bro, this is a French team that we need to get at. We don't need to be trying to hold the possession and then play into midfield and then go across the pitch. We need to get at players.
For 2 whole tournaments, yeah, Foden's been shit. I said it, bro. He weren't good in the Euros. He had blonde hair, he hit the post against Scotland, and everyone got gas because he looked like Gascoigne. He ain't done anything in 2 tournaments, bro.
I've been saying it for a while. I think Foden's a system player.
Man City's not England, bro. 2 things don't translate all the time. It's not a problem. I'm not knocking you for it, but clearly what you do for Man City doesn't translate, and what Grealish does from England doesn't translate to Man City. So it's the opposite way around. Grealish is better for England than Foden is. Yeah. Foden's better for Man City than Grealish is. It's not a problem because when you've got a manager who notices that, it's like, all right, then I know what to do, and that's all it is. But nah, man,
when players was on form, Savage as well, you notice, bro.
Yeah,
Rashford offered that game, the free kick and the other goal he scored. I was like, bro, he has to start the next game. Yeah, then he's on the bench, and I'm like,
Harry Kane missed his penalty, but I seen different comments today, bro, to what I seen for Rashford and Sancho and them, man, bro. Man were like, keep your head up, Harry. Don't worry, Harry.
I've got one here, actually. Hang on, I might find it in a minute. I've got one.
That's what I seen, bro. Don't worry, Harry. You'll be back.
No, did you see that?
I seen Rashford got the abuse.
Rashford got the abuse because he missed the free kick. He was like, the free kick was a penalty, bro. I'm like, bro, what?
The only thing I would say about the Rashford free kick, well, I was critical with it.
I thought it was in, bro. I can't
with the last kick of the game, he went for placement. I thought, just smack it, man. Just smack it. And he went for placement.
Bro, the keeper, if that was lower, Lloris did not move. He thought it was in.
And Lloris is shocking as well. Rashford should have started, man.
Yo, why is John doing the thriller dance, man?
I don't know. John, what do you want to say?
Here we go.
Go on, John. What do you want to say?
Here we go.
Harry Kane is literally the most overrated fucking English player there's ever been. I said at the very start of that game yesterday, Harry Kane should have been dropped and Rashford should have played. But who get the blame? Who get the blame for England going out last night? It wasn't Harry Kane. It was fucking Rashford.
And the ref.
He came on, and all he did was take a fucking free kick. Harry Kane missed a fucking penalty. His ball's still travelling. The ball's still travelling. The players got home before the ball's even landed.
Mate, he probably caught it off the plane when he lands in England.
Sorry, guys. Hang on. Breaking news. I spoke about the Arthur Melo stuff earlier.
Yeah.
Well, the way the Echo wrote it was poor. So whoever wrote that needs to be sacked. So Arthur Melo is expected to be back this month.
Okay.
Positive news. After Melo, the Brazilian midfielder will try and be back within the end of the month after first positive medical check. So the Echo just wrote it completely weird, saying it like, so yeah. bit of
fair
news there. Bit of news there. But go on,
John.
I was literally in a good mood until you mentioned Arthur Mello's name.
Hey, John, man, remember, man, I'm trying to create a new ethos with the fan base, man. I'm trying to make sure there's no Decepticons that seep in, bro. So let's not go with narratives, man.
Bro,
This guy
you
is
mentioned
not
Arthur's name and John turned into the
Arthur-
Sith Lord.
Arthur Mello.
And everything, bro.
I'm
John
sorry.
John does look like the Emperor right now, don't he?
Palpatine settings, bro.
Arthur Mello needs to fuck off back to Juventus.
Bro, what's he done to you, bro?
Exactly what's he done? What
Is that
has
15
he done?
minutes let the man chill?
What's he done? He's done fuck all. That's the point.
He's done more than Naby Keita.
Game time, bro. Relax,
Oh,
man.
man.
Oh,
I swear,
man.
I'd rather pay fucking Curtis Jones and play that fucking
I
twat.
respect Curtis at all times, bro.
And I don't even make
Yeah.
Curtis Jones.
Now let me have to make them man they come for you again, John. You remember last time? you tried
Honestly.
talking?
Arthur Mello. Is that how far we've fucking stepped down? We're relying on a fucking Italian fucking reject.
He's wow.
Easy, Tiger. Easy.
Bit harsh, John. It's a bit
He's
harsh,
done, he's done more than Naby Keita this season, mate.
Fuck. That would be hard. The two of them are fucking unknown from constantly.
It's a bit harsh, man. I know you're a Rangers fan on that.
The
Man,
reason they come to England, the only reason they come to England is to fucking take advantage of our NHS.
Stop hating. Stop hating.
That's the only reason they come to England. Use the fucking NHS.
No.
This man is rich, bro. We don't need the damn NHS. Bro.
That's a bad aside.
That's why he's rich. He doesn't pay for his healthcare. He's getting it for free.
He pays for it, bruv. So
He pays for it, man. Even I do that, man. Everyone's the private healthcare is good, man.
The poor
Fucking hell,
NHS,
it's a
isn't it?
fucking waste of time. That's
Oh,
how far
man.
we've gotten where we're landing on a fucking absolute Mongol.
he's still better than George Best, mate.
Is he?
I mean, you could argue his positioning is a lot better than George Best, bro.
Jesus.
Because he's, you know what I mean?
Anyway, can we go back on the fucking Hurricane, but an absolute fucking twat and fucking.
Nah, Jamie might want to move on now, bro.
Oh, man,
Hold
every
on.
time.
England's best ever chance to win a World Cup since '66, and Harry Kane just fucking ruined it.
I mean, look,
saucy midfield.
I don't.
Listen. It wasn't just him. It was obviously Gareth Southgate as
Yeah,
well.
he definitely wasn't the
Who
same.
missed the penalty?
Nah, let's not do that, man, because we've had Liverpool players miss penalties before, man. Shit happens.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's
look,
more on Southgate for me, bro. Southgate's the man who could have took Harry Kane.
But apparently he's a prolific goal scorer. But
He's a clearly he's a prolific goal scorer. That's a
he's
fact.
missing from
John,
12 years.
don't do this on this stream. Honestly,
He's definitely
bro.
a prolific goal scorer, man. Like
Hey,
you already know, I said it before because I said it about Japan and that. Like I'm not really good with people missing penalties. It kind of, you know, what I mean, it's a bit of a shambles, but shit does happen, bro. Can't pretend like he's not a prolific goal scorer all of a sudden.
I
Messi missed the penalty in this World
understand
Cup,
if he
and
missed.
Lewandowski missed the penalty.
I don't understand if he missed. But he didn't get the ball on fucking target. He can't even hit the fucking target from 12 yards out.
He clearly can.
He
He
did.
scored the one before, bro.
He scored the one before, and he scored how many other goals since
What
then?
happened to the one still fucking flying up on Mars?
It'll land. Don't worry, it'll land.
John, we've been friends for a little while now. John, I don't want
man,
people
relax.
looking at me sideways because of you, bro.
We have to be careful, man. This is why we have to get better at analyzing stuff. Let's not turn into like. Listen, we do YouTube. All of us do YouTube, so we don't have to put up with the media's terrible punditry, bro, where they just gone home and shit. But you're saying these things, bro. But we watch Salah miss
Moving
the
like
penalty
Michael
today,
Owen, bruvs.
Salah missed the penalty today, bro.
And then laughed about it. And then laughed about it, bro.
Was this?
He did
He did it.
Yeah. Nah, Salah's ice cold sometimes, man. Just didn't care, bro. Said fuck it, bro. It's what it is, man.
Was this that England's best chance to win a World Cup since '66?
We still
Who
got
knows,
plenty
man?
of time, bro. There's some young ballers in the team, bro. It's not an aging squad. It's a young squad.
Curtis Jones, Curtis Jones only young.
When we get Tomorrow to come and play as well, it'll be good, bro. Joey might start making game time.
Joey G.
Trent might be there.
Well, it's like Michael says here.
Right now, Enderman, we got to keep the numbers down, but you don't want to give the racist more man to get tapped, bro. You need to have now. You need to have minimal tones in the squad. And that,
You got
bro,
Mitchell
before the
and that.
racist man
Mitchell's
come out,
going to come in as well, bro. Mitchell's the next left back.
One too many tones in the squad, bro. It turns us crazy, bro.
England aren't going to win. Fuck off.
They'll win something quicker than Scotland, though. That's a fact.
And
that's
that's
a
an
fact.
establishment, so I don't go.
That's a fact.
Northern Ireland, then, with George Best in it.
Fuck's sake. Now, Ash is cold, bro. Ash, you need to jump on YouTube. It's cold comments, bro. It's fucking up, bro.
What did he say?
He would have done. George Best, I tell you what, one thing you can't sit and slate him for. He banged the goals away, even if he was fucking drunk.
It's like minimal tones.
But when he played for that LA team, what don't exist anymore, bro. Less of that. Bro.
Hey, G-Man, what's them eyes for? I see there's a comment.
Right, before we all get in trouble, I'm going to end it there because we almost went down 3 hours and I need to eat. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. What we'll do that debate show in the week next week sometimes, that world-class player of debate, because it'd be an interesting one because it could cause a few arguments, but yeah.
Don't invite John on it.
Jamie, by the way, because you didn't see that classic 11, you know John tried to shoehorn about 7 Liverpool players into the all-time. This geezer said, listen, I'm not making this up.
Yeah, Jimmy Traore
and Roberto Carlos at left back. This
I
man
didn't say Jimmy.
He said Rita. He said Hippier at centre back. I don't.
Hey, Jamie, is it okay if I tell the people where that show is?
Yeah.
Nice. It's on my,
go for it.
Yeah, it's on my channel still. It's on Ensman TV, so guys gotta check it out. But yeah, John tried to shoehorn Liverpool players into it. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
He was picking them up on delivery. He was delivering them.
Listen, all I mentioned was fucking Doug Leash and further, but they're not bad shouts, are they?
That's it. What happened to Grobbelaar and Rita and Hippier, bro? You picked all of
them. Yeah, you forgot about them.
All time or an all time since
all time, bro. You picked Grobbelaar over Schmeichel, Van der Sar.
All time World 11. All time World 11. I'm trying to think if one Liverpool player gets in there.
And what we tried to put Nestor and Maldini in that.
Surely Doug Leash gets in there. Surely Doug Leash gets in there.
All-time World 11.
Aye.
I don't know.
Well, the team what did we end with? Gerrard ended up in the team still. Just got in.
He got in.
Yeah, he got in.
Who's the forwards?
Ronaldo and
Henry.
Yeah, they both got in.
But there's honourable mention for like Shevchenko and.
No, wait, Jamie, wait. No, Jay. It's because I done this because I just came onto the stream late because I was watching it. Endsman said it. If you're currently still playing, you can't get into the team. Have to be retired.
Have to be retired.
I jumped on screen like, hold on, so Messi's not getting into the team, and everyone was like, nah, calm down.
hang on, retired as well. I don't even know if Henry gets in my World 11 retired or not.
Well, he was retired, and then I think if we did say if you haven't,
they got in front of Roberto Baggio.
It's if you didn't watch him as well.
If you've seen him the boat on it, and he was like,
cool.
There was a lot of 90s based players, I think, in the end. I mean, if we had to really go through legends, it was players that we saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can come out and say like
you said you're going to do one
or something like that.
Like I did with my world's 10 best players. Yeah. Players you got to have seen. I agree.
Yeah.
Now, Rage Pot Ronaldinho got in there on the left, bruv. Kieran tried to kick Ronaldinho out and put George Best in. I ain't having it.
Right, guys, I've got to go, but I'll be back on.
Big respect to Kieran, but.
Right, let's go for it. So, Ensman's TV, go and make sure you check them out and subscribe over there and watch that debate from the other day. Baz, where can they find you at?
Yeah, they can find me on LVFC TV, Ensman TV, John Glasgow, Red Chats, even Savage, almost Liverpool. Good outlets. Big up, guys. All my socials are in the on my channel. So yeah, check it out. Please smash the likes on this one as well.
Smash the likes, man.
John, where can the world find you if they don't already know?
Yeah, you can find me on Glasgow Red Chats.
Northern Ireland with George Best.
Yeah, with Geordie. You find me in a pub hanging out with Geordie Best.
Baz, let him do because Jamie needs to go, bro.
And Savage, obviously, they should know where they find you. But
you already know, man. Savage talks football, man, and then you can find out all the other channels when you're over there. Come on.
There you go. That's it. Do the work, guys. In other words, do the work.
Yeah, man, it's already attached, bro. I can't bother to keep saying it. It's small, isn't it?
Savage Talks Football, Savage Talks Wrestling, Hugo Online. There you go, guys. Check them out over there, guys. Go and give them some love. Right, guys, thanks for all joining me. I'll be back. Is it Tuesday, the first semi-final? I can't bloody remember.
Yeah, Tuesday,
Yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah,
Wednesday, the semi-final. Final
Tuesday,
on
Wednesday.
And I think third place is on Saturday. But
Come on, then. You want to come and say hello
yeah,
quickly?
about third place, bruv. I hope
Yeah.
Morocco. If Morocco don't win the whole thing, I hope they get third place, bruv.
Oh, hello, cutie.
Come on, what's going on?
Hello.
Hello, Phoebe. Go, mwah. Oh,
Hey,
there you
Phoebe.
go.
Oh,
Ah,
All right, go away.
a big shout out to Pablo as well, man. Come on.
You're
Big up,
having a
big up,
little
man.
shower, not a big shower.
He's just staring into my soul, bruv. He's got a problem. He's beefing with the Rock, and I got the Rock in the room, and it's pissed, bruv.
My son just came into me and went, I'm having a little shower.
Oh, okay.
just a little one, not a big shower.
So
Yeah.
I'm just getting a little bit damp, and that's it. Right, guys. I'll be back Tuesday in semi-final. Big up to all. And go and subscribe to everyone's channel, guys, if you're not already. See you later, guys. Enjoy the
See you
rest of
later,
the night.
man.
Peace out, boys.